All right, so last time, venturing even further into the dark and dreary, ice-cold Amber Temple. A bit of a scuffle occurred when suddenly Ash found himself terrified of a lit candle that seemed to light the way for you in one of these random crypts in the Amber Temple. Trying to understand, or actually being a little not very understanding, you all attempted to push and shove him into the room regardless of his apprehension, even going as far as using the sentinel that you had acquired to hold him in place, while Tensveta then lit it on fire. In a moment of desperation, Ash lashed out at the group with this unknown power, this cold, icy cold death that just rained out of his hands. Casimir, attempting to counterspell one, couldn't counterspell the second one that came out immediately after. And after explaining to you how difficult it would be to perform such a feat, the only obvious conclusion you could all come to was that Ash had given up a piece of himself for one of these dark gifts. Unfortunately, he was nowhere to be found. After a bit of searching, Tens, you managed to have some conversation. You guys all found each other, and for the momentary time, you have aligned yourself with this strange changeling creature that may or may not be a demon, according to Cole. Venturing even further into the Amber Temple, you stumbled on another crypt, this one filled with ghastly creatures. Humanoid, ghoul-like entities with wicked claws and 3 eyes that were climbing across the walls in the room. Lunging at you, they attacked you suddenly and swiftly, and many of you nearly died in the fight, just barely managing to survive as Tensveta dragged your corpses from the room. Fighting to the last, you managed to survive, and as the dust clears, you take heavy breaths, blood still pouring from your wounds. That is where we will pick up. The heat from the blood itself in this cold almost steams from what is pooled on the ground. Your warm blood mixed with the black, gross, sickly, greenish liquid that has expelled itself from these disgusting creatures, the smell of which still choking your lungs.
I think finding a spot that is relatively clear of blood, Kel will throw himself down and just kind of collapse up against the wall, panting and just trying to identify where the actual wounds are, in contrast to where all the blood is spattered.
Tins is gonna drop some marbles onto the floor, just like pour them out, and as he does, he'll snap once and they'll begin to prestidigitate like a path to each one of the different amber pieces.
Yeah, we're really hell-bent on trying to kill ourselves in here, aren't we?
It would appear that this temple is a source of constant surprise. Some interesting, some heart-wrenching, and some skin-rending.
Kind of like my skin.
Yeah, like that. Above board, are we cool with taking a short rest here?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I don't mind.
buddy. I'm always down for a short rest.
Okay.
I'm down for a short rest, but Tins is going to check these amber crypts first.
I only have 3 of
So,
my
are you guys going to start your short rest while he's checking the crypts?
Cole will be, yeah.
Ash is gonna move up the steps a little bit further, probably just up here, sit on a few rungs of the steps up so he's away from any of the gas or anything that still might be lingering. And then, yeah, do the short resty.
He's gonna do, as he's going into the room, he's just gonna kind of like glance up and around and see where they may have been staying since they were on the walls. If they have any like dugout nooks or crannies that we could possibly climb up into and stay somewhat remotely safe in.
Sorry, I owed Durango something. I was just trying to get it to him.
Am I good to roll the short rest dice?
Yes, you can go
Okay.
ahead and roll your hit die as you all settle in. Your shield guardian still at the top of the stairs, sort of securing that route for you. You feel a little more at peace here. Although I will tell you, your long rest is going to take a little extra time, given the stench and the odor here. It just makes it incredibly uncomfortable.
And we see the dice rolling and rolling.
And so
Wow.
you are approaching the
Let's
northern,
start with the north.
the northern one. Okay. As you place your hand on that northern sarcophagi, it's that familiar feeling at this point, being pulled into that amber void. Except now, all around you, even the darkness, something with even just the ground itself is almost spongy and sticky. As one after another, you see multiple eyes begin to open somewhere in the dark. No other form beyond the 9 eyes that just suddenly spread wide. Like the head of some sort of giant spider as this voice reaches out to you. I am Drizlash, the 9-eyed spider. I can give you the power I possess, that of my children. There will be no boundaries that hold you. If you are willing to make the sacrifice.
As he breathes out in that space, even here he gives it like a soft, almost wintry breeze from the soft. And what's the sacrifice? What is required?
I cannot say what the sacrifice will be. It is only up to you. The price you will pay.
Noted. I might return. And he removes his hand and just goes to the one off to the east.
Okay. Stepping foot again, placing your hand on the vestige, you feel that pull. This one, the darkness in that amber void filled with just the gnashing of teeth. You can hear them chewing in the distance all around you, almost maddening. And through it, you hear that voice. I am Dalver Nar, he of the many teeth. I will give you the power to live many lives. Take my gift, and you shall live again and never die.
And in return?
There is always a price.
Can I get some clarification? Are you offering longer life or proper immortality?
It is a gift of many lives.
Noted. Thank you. He removes his hand. Goes to the south.
Yeah, you're getting the distinct feeling that these creatures are not here to answer questions. They are
Right.
remnants or leftover pieces of some sort of dark entities, just so you...
Mm-hmm.
But even though you're going to continue to ask them.
Yep.
The southern sarcophagus, as you place your hand on it, pulled into that void, again, the sound of trumpets, violins, and an orchestra of stringed instruments, as if approaching a king or entering some sort of kingly court. Through the dark amber void, a red carpet rolls out before you, and above, on a throne, sits this hunched over figure, a gold and iron crown sitting on their head. I am Xantris, the Kingmaker. Xantris's gift is the power that comes from great presence and force of personality. With it, you will be a king amongst men. All will bow to your whims.
I accept your offer.
I was gonna say Ash can't be the only one.
Done. All right. I need you to roll a charisma saving throw.
Was this a charm?
Nope. Tensveta. As your hand pulls away, even through winter, you feel this sickly energy fill you. And as it does, you stand up straight. For those of you watching, you can see him sort of snap. And in a moment, everything almost unlikable about him begins to change. He's suddenly filled with this air of confidence and sense of being and purpose. Something about him just seems more regal and defined. Internally, however, something breaks. That feeling of human connection that you once had, that you even struggled in winter, but that feeling of remorse, sadness, empathy suddenly drains away. So, you, above table, your charisma increases by 4 permanently.
They can help that wizard.
I will text you the price.
Okay.
Okay.
Then he will promptly step back over to the one that does long life and accept it as well.
Interestingly, you go to put your hand on it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happens.
Interesting.
From my vantage point, can I see? I can see him through the door, I'd imagine. Or is it too dark?
Make a perception check.
$15?
I would say, with everything going on, unless you were specifically watching him, which I don't know that you were. I mean, you had suffered some pretty grievous wounds. The smell of this place, especially that room, is I don't know that you're seeing him.
Okay. Yeah, but after sort of making sure that he's stitched up as best as he could, and having Rango sort of snap away some of the more egregious stains, of course, sort of gets up and straightens up and just yells, "You don't know that it turns better."
Yes, I believe I am. And he kind of like snaps his jacket a little bit tighter still in winter. Deadly focused. He just looks around. How are we feeling? Everybody okay?
Well, not okay, but better. Anyway.
Why, Mr. Tens, you ask this of the great Durango Fortescue?
He pointedly looks at Ash.
Ain't nothing changed up here.
Well, if everyone's good to go, we should, like the rest of our time in here, a bit brief, yeah?
I need to roll some hit dice for Casimir real quick.
Okay.
It's fine. We can continue on. He'll also gain another 4th level spell slot from Arcane Recovery.
Yeah, I think with that, Cole'll start heading up the old apples and pears.
Nothing
Heading
else
up.
to do down here? Yeah.
Well, it's just sort of cave in, and Cole's not interested in touching any of these things. Not really eager to go into the room where he just got, slaughtered, basically.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Oh, I ended up all the way over yonder. I'm on like far west of the map.
There we go.
Well, hold on.
Are 2 Coles? What?
Too many.
Yeah, one's enough.
Do we think we've got this place figured out? Are we gonna go go mess with Itchy again?
Oh my, I don't see no reason to be here. If we can't figure out which one of these things, we don't know if even breaking these things is going to help. We found out the layout of Strahd's sort of stronghold, yeah, so that's a victory.
Well,
As well as the layout of Strahd himself, you might say, hmm?
This is true.
they, in case you were wondering, they were offering to make someone a king. But it was for a very dire price. One of the only ones that actually gave me a proper price for what they were offering. One that was offered a lack of boundaries. It's very spider-like. And the last offered multiple lives. Durango, you may want to go take that one.
Why, Mr. Ted, you speak to a man who has barely soiled his clothing with his own blood, hmm? Worry not for the great Durango Fortescue. Can I roll insight on what he's talking about? Knowing what's happened with Ash and what those things do? You are muted, sir.
Yeah, I mean, just trying to. I mean, so are you trying to determine if he's lying about the gifts, or just to see if there's something different? You've like something off with tens.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, Durango
Okay.
understands the process of how these things work. I mean, Ten spent some time in
Okay,
there alone.
Sure.
I did lie
Sure.
once in there. Should I roll deception?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's 3 bricks in there. What did the third one do? You only talked about 2.
Wow.
Actually, I talked about all 3.
Did you?
Kingmaker.
Yeah.
The Life Giver.
Oh, okay, yep.
The lack of boundaries. He seems a lot more calculated in what he's saying. Very forward. Even in winter, he's never been quite so pointed.
Well, that's a good thing you didn't make a bargain with that one about no boundaries, because you already don't have those.
Yeah, if I wasn't mad at you right now, I'd giggle. That was good.
Durango's eyes move slowly over to Ash as he speaks, with just a knowing smile on his face, saying nothing.
If everybody stopped in the stairway, Ash was just gonna kind of push past everybody and keep the train a rolling.
Yeah, I would have probably gone to my massive construct friend.
Does Tens think that we could have had the construct friend get rid of the cave-in? Could we have dug our way through?
Make an intelligence check.
But you got the +4 to that charisma.
I would say,
+2.
I mean, it probably possible. What does Tens think? Yes, of course. Why wouldn't why wouldn't these other idiots think that that's why that seems obvious, but what do you care?
Starting to head towards the hallway, Cole's gonna call back to everybody. Well, are we doing anything with the go in the auditorium here?
Might as well
He's
check
even-
on him. See if
He's
he's
even
still here.
still there. Find a use for him.
Could at least get him out of the temple if he wants it.
Yeah, Cole will go down the hallway. The automaton is always gonna be about maybe 5-10 feet back in tow. As long as Cole has control of him, and we'll sort of like grandly open the door and go, "We have returned," and do kind of like a flourish bow.
Durango naturally provides musical score, leaning into the doorway.
The auditorium lit with those reddish flames still in the candelabras above the ceiling, kind of dancing around the room, seems very empty.
Cole looks up, still sort of bowed, and there's no one fucking here.
It would
And
appear
Ash-
this problem took care of itself.
Just for the pure curiosity, is there like enough dust and crap on the floor that Ash can tell the difference in any of the footprints between like us clunking around and like this other guy, or at least somebody else that came out of this room?
I'll give you investigation or survival.
Investigation or survival. Survival it is. Nat 20 for 22.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not easy to discern because there's a lot of footprints. And the dust in this room is not nearly as bad as some of the other areas. But looking around, you can see that there's a bit of refuse that has been taken, some other items that were here the last time that you saw sort of scattered around, whereas he had kind of been living here. There are a few things that have been taken, and the footprints, most recently, although Cole and Durango just kind of trudged through and smudged, you find traces that at some point in the last 24 hours he absconded.
Yeah, I didn't think he was dumb enough to do that. He's gone. None of this shit's here.
Well, anything blocking our way should at the very least be well fed, huh?
Well, at least distracted if nothing else. Well, here we go. Pip and all that.
Oh, was it making fun of me?
I do
guess
not
we-
know that he possesses a sense of humor, so called, but should he grow one, this would be quite an accomplishment, hmm? Worthy of song?
Well, you're right, Rango.
I shall call it squeezing jokes from a stone.
From slightly ahead of you, you just hear Ash replicating Durango's voice. Once was a man named Ash. He was very, very brash.
You see, Mr. Ash, perhaps you missed your calling after all.
Yeah, could be right. If you ever need a stand-in, let me know.
Are we good here? Are we satisfied with what we've?
No, but we
Well,
can
is
know about-
Ten's ever going to be satisfied with this, with what we got out of this temple?
Well, he got some good. There was some good information here, but he's severely unhappy with the lack of full, proper information. So,
All right. Well, I guess Cool heads towards the front door.
Tens will, from behind everyone, as he takes up the rear. Perhaps we should try one more go at one of those other rooms that was locked. Now that you've had a bit of rest, could you possibly unlock them, Durango? One of them at least.
Why? Mr. Ten, such a feat would be nothing for the great Durango Fortescue. Sure you know this.
Might I remind you all that we're going to have to get through the giant firewall? So I don't know if you're going to use the same...
Just take another rest beforehand. He's always full of panache anyway.
So I can't believe I'm agreeing with Tensveta on this, but we came all this way, we fought to get here, and yet we are no closer to understanding what power gave Strahd his gift.
Oh, I'm quite positive I know what gave him his gift, but
And it is also apparent. Well, I mean, of course, it seems to have come from one of these dark entities. But as you have pointed out, all of you, we have seen in person now, there's some sort of negative. There's a downside. There's a weakness in all of these gifts.
well, from what I can tell, his weakness is that he's, well, in Fey terms, a simp.
What?
I'm
Simpleton, an idiot. He simply could not get over the fact that his brother. Do you guys not remember the story?
Mate, I don't know if that's what Kesami's talking about.
He simply had to be the best.
Well,
Better than all the
he's-
rest.
He did not have that amount of drive to be of. Tens would remember her name. Was it Tatiana? Am I crazy?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
He would not have been driven to move as he did towards his brother until after he became garnered the title of vampire.
I
It's
think-
not.
I
It's
think
not
he's
how it
talking more
is.
specifically, you know. But from what I gather, you talk to these things, they offer you sort of grand powers, and they don't tell you what the downside is. They
This is
say there's
true.
one. They say there's one. But they're not so forth with it, yeah. So how are we supposed to know without going through and having what is more than more gifts here than there are us. We're just supposed to start taking them and get one of us to curse the same way. How are we supposed to find it out?
Compare it to what we know of the fellow.
I mean, you get that dead bloke in the other room, but he's not really sharing the information.
It's not about him. It's nothing
Well, he
to
would
do with him.
know. He would know what he's do, yeah? He's not just hanging out in the temple for no reason.
Well, then, I don't think it would be wise to have some... believe me, I saw the magic within his tone. He is a deadly creature. He is a deadly person. Unless you'd like to waste, instead, Durango's power on him and get us all killed, or possibly get another piece of information behind another locked door that he probably locked himself, which would you rather take?
What my point is, mate, what we have to do is accept any of the sort of powers, whatever they be, in order to learn the downside, and...
No, that's not necessarily true. I've learned a lot just learning about what they're offering.
Well, that's Casimir's point, yeah?
That's my point.
Durango once again offers Tensveta that same knowing smile he gave Ash minutes ago.
Doesn't even acknowledge it.
If I could interject, Mr. Tens, Circle, it is my understanding from my travels of these many lands and the many sights that I have seen and the many things that I have learned that there are things that are not gods, but they have powers very similarly, whereas you might ask a god and beg and use your belief to accept a favor from them. These creatures are more of the mercantile variety. They barter, they trade. Perhaps we could strike a favorable accord.
It's not uncommon in the Feywild either. You find a stronger Fey than I and strike a deal with them as well.
All I'm saying is, we won't know the downside until we got the downside, yeah? And then, whichever one of it is, say we get lucky. Say we get lucky and choose the right one. Strahd knows exactly what that downside is.
How do you know he does? How do you know it wasn't the one that shattered that could possibly, make him immortal and then make him all-knowing all in one go?
Well, mate, I don't. All I'm saying is I don't know if we're going to find out either way by touching these things. So if you can think of another way to figure out the downside...
You can touch it without accepting the gift. I did it multiple times in the past 24 hours.
I'm not saying that, mate, but you're going to say
I'm not taking a no, and he just starts walking down the steps.
I was gonna above table. Yeah. Do we know which rooms are still locked that we need to check out?
I think there was one down kind of underneath where we are, where the hags were.
There were a couple over there, and there were a couple across the big entry, the big hallway as well.
Durango, how many times can you get us into a room before you gotta take a little nap?
Why? Mr. has such a way with words, and Durango reaches over and gives him a little pat on the cheek, kind of like a disapproving grandparent. To answer your so eloquently phrased question, I could perhaps perform this feat only once before needing some respite. It has been quite a long day, you understand, even for one as potent and virile and lively as the great Durango Fortescue.
I don't know. Not relatable at all. And Ash just kind of gestures to the various cuts and bruises and everything on his body still.
See, there was this one. There was this one. We've got two. Question is, I think we should go to the one to the northeast because it's the closer to the one that he destroyed.
So the one that he destroyed, or the one that we think he destroyed, is up here, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that's northwest.
Right, west.
Sorry. I was very confused.
I'm bad at directions. Don't ever let me tell you where to go unless it's left and rights.
I'm inclined to agree with the elf. He probably, if we think that's the thing that he destroyed, he probably ducked in somewhere else nearby. You're muted.
there's a helicopter going on. My only argument is a specific one that the hags were trying to get in was on the other side. I don't know if they had some sort of... Maybe they knew better.
We already got into it. The one they were trying to get into is the one to the far south.
Well, whatever. If we gotta spend a little more time, conjure up some fire, make sure Durango has his sparkling water, we can go ahead and do both these doors that are left.
You shudder even as the word leaves your mouth.
I was gonna say.
Like a stutter on the word fire.
So you see Ash goes to launch the joke kind of absentmindedly, and then just kind of conjure up some flame. All right, Durango.
And you make your way back through those amber corridors to that northwestern sarcophagus room, or what you assume is a sarcophagus room. It's the same doors as the other. The one to the north still sort of a shadow in your memory that that entity that you interacted with, Ash.
Yeah. So Durango
go ahead. Yeah.
shoulders his mandolin and strikes a dashing heroic pose. Kind of tosses his hair and looks over the group, and then back to the door. His voice unnaturally loud and booming, he announces, "Door you shall open in the name of the great Durango Fortescue," and launches into a blistering riff, punctuating it with a couple of hard strums, casting Dispel Magic.
With an audible, the door opens.
Durango bows with a flourish, his arm gesturing towards the now open door.
Well, before I go in, definitely gonna look into the room to see if there's anything in the room.
Make a perception check.
Oh, anybody in here? 13.
Looking around, you don't see anything. The room is dark. Your vision's not great in the dark as it is, but you don't see any movement. You don't see any light. You don't see anything.
Tens gives a look to Durango, cocks his head, and just goes, "You seem to be a bit more of an expert in deal making. Perhaps you should hear from these three."
By Mr. Tens, you shall find that the great Durango Fortescue is learned in many matters. His knowledge is as boundless as his charm.
He gives like the smallest half grin that just is there for just a split second before it fades. By all means.
Head held high, Durango practically struts into the room, approaches the stone to the north, examines it briefly, and just extends his index finger out long, skinny, got practically a talon of a fingernail, and touches it.
I imagine it just makes the nail on a chalkboard sounds.
But in a perfect C.
All right.
You enter the room and you walk over to that northern sarcophagus. As you go to reach your hand out, Durango, every instinct in your body begins to tell you to run. That panic, like a small animal. Now, one that you're not overly familiar with, but you've got good survival instincts, and they instantly begin to kick in as the goosebumps fill you, your hair stands on end, and you feel something behind you. All too late, unfortunately, as in a flash in the dark, a sword drops down. And in that moment, I don't know what you're doing. But let's just say... Ooh, wait, there's a 28 hit.
What's the roll luck point of that one for a reroll?
Ooh. Got me so nervous I burped.
Yeah,
That's a 24 hit.
That definitely hits, yeah.
You take 17 points of slashing damage. As from behind now, this massive creature looms above you. This wide open jaw, like the mouth of a shark almost, but on this reptilian face. These black scales elongating all throughout the body, attached to this leathery, almost amphibian skin. Black horns protruding from various parts as these massive arms with huge three-pronged hands grip this great sword. I need everybody to roll initiative.
Ah.
I want to check out more rooms. There's a room that we haven't been in yet in the northwestern corner.
There's
be
one
fair-
in the southeastern corner too.
To be fair, we let the one guy, or I guess one of the guys without dark vision, check the room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Well, in his defense, it was invisible.
Is it still invisible? No. Okay, good.
Hold on 1 second. Let me just get this here. It is visible now.
The charming fellow you've got there.
Oh, I love these guys. They're so much fun.
Oh, I mean,
you're the only one that would know what it is, I think.
I know.
The others have probably only ever heard of them in passing. Whispered myth and legend.
I will not be.
honestly, I don't want to be fighting it, but like if I had to sidle up next to it in a bar and like swap stories with it, it looks like it's got some good stories.
Oh, I bet.
Now I'm gonna have to like look this up in the monster manual to see what these fucking things are in actuality.
Did that get
After
all
the
the
fight.
No, hold on.
I was gonna say I don't even see a combat. There it is.
Yeah,
There it is. Sorry.
Good. I have time to think between my turn and Casimir's.
I didn't roll any better. I roll horrible initiative on this character.
Denzveta.
Dens will rush as quickly as he can in. He will bonus action Blade Sing, and then he's going to stab this guy with a Sun Sword. Does a 24 hit?
A 24 would hit. However, you go to draw the Sun Sword, and the blade does not come out.
That's a problem. Okay.
I'm gonna clock that with my passive perception of 20.
Okay.
And you can feel the disdain.
Word. Alright, then we're just gonna stab this guy with the rapier that he hasn't used in a while.
So I'll give you your first roll.
Oh, okay. Well then,
So still 16, just not with the Sun Sword.
so 16 plus 6 is 22 to hit.
Yes, 22 hits.
And we'll make that a booming blade. That's the intention from the get-go. So that's... And then he gets sneak attack because friend is in... 6, and then 36 there. So that's 19 points of non-magical piercing. And then 7 points of thunder now. Then if he decides to leave that space, he'll take some more damage. And that's his turn. He has an AC currently of 18.
Do you feel like, again, as the sun sword does, it refuses to light up, you grab the rapier and you go in for that same shot. Still quickly, lightning fast, you and with precision and focus, you dart in and you stab out at this creature, but your rapier almost bends in your hand as it just you struggle to get it to do anything to it. Finally, in a last-ditch effort, that booming blade, and the creature suddenly lurches forward, just turning this wide-toothed maw to you. It just sort of...
Sounds like he needs a Tums. I'm gonna get the man a Tums.
Somebody get this man
Ash is not in. No, it's not that one, right? What did you roll, Ash? You were
I don't know. I'm seeing two.
like an 8. Yeah, I think you were the 8. So
yeah, I don't. I rolled and it rolled like twice for me, so I don't know what the deal was.
So with that, it is going to lash out. Let me see. What does it do? Oh yeah, that's great for you guys. Durango. It whirls around. It pulls up one of these giant hands that scrapes, these claws scrape the floor as it comes and slams itself into you. A 25 hit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Mm-hmm. All right, you take 14 points of slashing damage.
Oof.
Tenzveta, as the great sword whirls around towards you. Yep, that's a 25.
Okay.
15 points of slashing damage.
We'll go ahead and use our reaction to have that with Uncanny Dodge.
All right, so as you dodge some of it, the sword just still manages to crack against a bit of your leather armor. You can feel the pressure underneath. It doesn't bite into your flesh, but you feel the weight of the hit as it pushes you back. The thing grabs you, like reaches out and just bites at you with this massive maw.
Would you call that 7 or 8?
We would call that 7.
Okay.
It does, and a 16 doesn't hit. So just pulling back quick enough, you just barely to avoid this gaping mouth as it just clamps down, trying to grab your arm as you fall backwards. And Durango. Fix this. I don't know why I always do that. There we go.
Reeling from the hits, Durango catches his balance and starts into kind of a pivoting dance as he moves around the monster towards Tenzveta. His tail reaches out and grabs Tenzveta by the wrist as he's like launching into a riff. He ends it off with a couple of solid open hand slaps on the soundboard of the mandolin, and it sounds like thunder as the air explodes into lightning and him and Tenzveta disappear.
Hell yeah!
Well played. Well played.
It's a Constitution save. And we will appear safely behind this the shield guardian.
I love it. Hold on. Actually, I think I get... Oh, either way, yeah, 8. It's a failure.
Impressive.
So that's 4d10 at this level, if I remember right.
Come on, good rolls. Oh damn, that's not bad at all.
24
Yeah.
damage.
Massive. It just you're sort of taken aback. The creature tries to lurch out at you again as you go to escape. That lightning crackles are at your feet as the two of you vanish, and the whole room just boom, this thunderous roar. You hear cracks forming in the amber in the room as the two of you. All right.
That's nice to know.
And with that, Ash.
Cole, you're gonna want to funnel this door. Maybe with the thing, not you. And I'm gonna dip around and launch 2 arrows at this guy. And you see Ash draw his bow, draw his arrows. As he does, you just start seeing very wisps of black kind of start spiraling around it as he shoots it, and I'm gonna do my shadow arrow, which is one of my arcane archer things. But let's see if we hit first. For a 26. So we'll roll the damage on that.
Do it, yeah.
So it's 9 points of piercing. Then it is also going to take 2d6 psychic for another 7 psychic. And it needs to make a wisdom save, DC 12.
So it's 7 points of psychic damage?
Yep.
And a wisdom saving throw?
Yes.
Wow.
It can't see anything further farther away from 5 feet. So you guys watch as this arrow strikes. The swirling that was around the arrow just kind of takes hold and wraps this guy up. He can't see us. Don't get too close if you don't need to. And then I'll just launch. And as he does that, he launches off a second arrow. For an 18.
18 hits.
For an additional 8 piercing. And Ash will just knock another arrow. That ends my turn. Actually, I'll probably use some more movement, step back a little bit so the thing can get in front of me.
All right, so barely being able to see into the room, just barely seeing the silhouette of this creature. You fire your 2 arrows, the first arcane one, blinding it for a minute. It is you can see it like suddenly shake its head as it starts kind of looking around the room. The second arrow kind of catching it, but just kind of glinting off a bit. Casimir.
Oh, if he hadn't used his other 5th level slot. Let's just drop an ice storm. Right there. "20-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder, dex save."
We're just not being nice to this guy.
Nah, dude, we got murked by some cats like less than 2 hours ago.
As
19
launches into that spell, or Casimir launches into that spell, Durango plays a discordant, really jarring, nasty set of notes, and he's going to impose a D6 subtraction to that saving throw.
Ooh.
It's 13.
Well
Wow.
done. That's a beautiful
Yeah.
reaction.
Remember when I had
Durango
to
Fortescue?
just Chuck, I don't know if you're confused or not, but because the Durango is playing a custom class that we made, which is a custom pact and patron. And so for his Pact of the Muse, I gave him an invocation that essentially gives him cutting words.
That's nice.
And his pact bonus is like he can hand out inspiration, so it pulls from the same pool.
Interesting. That is some hot garbage rolls on 4d6 and 2d8 as he takes 10 points of damage, all of it magical, and that is difficult terrain in there. So now, not only is he blind beyond a 5-foot radius, he's gonna have a hard time getting out of there.
And some clarification for everybody too. It's only until the end of my next turn. I thought it was longer, but it's just end of my next turn. It's still
okay.
good. I just read it. It was like, oh fuck, that's not like a multi-round thing.
And then Casimir will step behind Ash. He's like, I'm not gonna get it. And that'll be his turn.
Cool.
All right. Well, work's been done mostly for me, so I'm going to position myself in front of the door. If I have the right tool selected, there we go. I'm gonna use. I don't get to use this very much. We have a moment here. Cole hasn't been able to do this very much, but he's trying to remember some of his older methods, and you see him, and it just sort of his palms sort of illuminate, and normally the light's a little sickly, but it seems a little less so this time around. And I'll just sort of do a wave. I look back to my friends and just sort of wave across, and I'm gonna give. There's 3 creatures, 30 feet range, yeah. So I'm gonna give Ash, Tensveta, and Durango a bless.
Hey.
Everybody starts cringing because they all have like evil entities.
Well, Cole's still technically there. And actually, I'm gonna do that at level 2. And to get Casimir in there as well. I have to do it at level 2 anyway, so.
Hey.
Yep. And Cole's just going to sit here, and his bonus action is going to move the golem into position next to the door as well. So if this thing tries to get out, he's got something to contend with.
What does your bless look like?
Like I said, originally it would have been a little bit sickly at this point, but you sort of around everyone's heads, just quickly, you sort of see a little radiant sort of light come out, just a little bit, nothing too crazy, but it's everyone sort of shines for a second.
Right, Tensveta.
Let's see, I've got a 40-foot move speed at the moment. What's the distance? Okay.
That's all difficult terrain now, isn't it?
Yep. Until the end of Casimir's turn, I think? Or until he drops concentration? No, it's just there for a while. Anyway. You know what? Tins has been looking forward to casting this particular spell. Let's make this even harder for him by casting grease at the doorway.
Okay.
He shatters. When he reaches in, sheathes his rapier, and kind of like crushes a couple marbles in hand, and then he spits into it and tosses it out. And as he tosses it out, it begins to expand before just all across the ground into that ice. And then he will bonus action. We'll step forward 5 feet and then use Master of Tactics to give our friend Cole advantage on his next attack against this slot, as he just says, if he doesn't fall, make sure that you aim for his throat.
Oh no, mate, it's not my first time.
From inside the room, for those of you that can see Cole, you can see the silhouette of this dark creature just sort of shaking and stumbling around, kind of like looking around. Spells. You just hear this like voice, this like echoing croak in this language that you just don't understand or sound, as this green fog just begins to emanate from right in front of him and just pours out the door.
Fuck.
I need all of you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Ooh, hold on.
Oh.
Counterspell does not require sight. Yeah, it does. Never mind. It says in the reaction what you take when you see a creature. Never mind. Okay, cool. Great, wonderful, fantastic.
I'm trying to see if anyone gets the.
Yeah, I just need.
No one's within 10
to
feet of
push
me.
it to 5 feet, so I didn't have to put it into a spot that I could see.
Fuck me. 9.
Oh no.
Guys.
Just
That's
snuck
fair.
by.
Guys.
And And then here it comes. Mr. Winter.
Okay, so
This is what got us last time.
anybody? So it looks like Durango succeeds. Everybody else fails.
Yep.
Everybody say a prayer for this group right now.
Oh,
Oh my god.
28 points of poison damage as this choking fog fills the room.
half of that rounded up gets transferred to the Guardian because I'm within 60 feet of it and I've got the amulet.
Is that an attack, though?
It doesn't say attack, it just says damage. The Guardian's within 60 feet of the amulet's wearer. Half of any damage the wearer takes
Yep,
rounded
okay,
up is transferred to the
sure.
Guardian.
Yeah, so as that fog begins to fill the room, you can see the Guardian just pushes itself in front of you. As that poisonous gas, you can see it start to corrode even the metal in the wood of its armor, and some of it still starts to fill your lung. And it's still there. The everything around you now is this choking green fog.
That half damage on save?
Yep. So 14 points.
Jesus. That was a roll. Why couldn't I roll like that? Jesus.
Brutal.
And with that is your turn, Durango.
So choking and coughing, Durango levels that mandolin and gets it ready. But
Yeah.
rather than his usual quick bursts of musical notes, this is a riff that builds and builds on itself, gaining intensity. The energy glowing in the headstock of the mandolin before just like pulsing out as a giant beam towards the creature. That's Raoul Otham's psychic lance. It's intelligence save.
Nice.
Okay.
For all of them, cyclic lance is such a good one.
It's a 17.
I'm gonna use my reaction to impose that T6 again.
Okay. 15.
Damn, 15 saves, yeah. Is that half damage on that one?
Should have gone and hit that charisma.
Half damage and no incapacitated. Alright.
Not bad still. Still good damage.
Yeah.
Does Cloud kill a concentration? That's the real question.
Ooh.
Well, half of 33.
Ooh. Oh, damn. I forgot
Yeah,
about the
yeah.
half power.
It's a vicious spell, man. Yeah, so as that psychic glance for everybody else, they just hear the words and the slight ripple in the air as this just passes through. You almost shudder, Cole, as this feeling suddenly passes through you. The creature screams and roars in the room.
The musical notes continue, but turn to a sweeter, more jovial tune as Durango calls out through the fog cloud. So called take out. We have prevailed against worse and slept in places which smelled much worse. Have yourself an inspiration, there, buddy. It's D6.
Ooh.
And Durango's gonna get the hell out of that cloud. That's all I got.
Yeah, actually, as that lance hits, you feel the cloud begin to disperse.
Oh, good. Okay.
Nice. That changes my plans in a good way.
Sure. Ash.
With some lingering coughing going on, he just kind of looks over at Durango and holding his bow, it gives him 2 thumbs up before he goes back to the arrow pose, and is going to launch off 2 more arrows. They have a slight glow to them because they are considered magical now. For for a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 hits.
11 points of piercing. 10. Does not hit, I'm guessing.
10 does not hit.
Bonus
Actually,
action.
you watch the first one, even though his sight still in this moment, you can see it's just starting to come back. The first arrow slams into it and it just breaks it off with one of its arms. The second one, as it's coming, you watch as it just suddenly turns towards it as it's in the air and just grabs it out of the air and breaks it.
Yeah, keep laughing, jackass. And action surge for my bonus action. And 2 more arrows are gonna very quickly follow it up. Not with a natural 1.
That was one of those bent ones.
Yeah. Damn it, Durango!
This one is you sort of panic fire, seeing it grab the arrow out of the air, you panic fire it. This one he just smacks away with one of his hands as he starts lurching towards the door.
23.
Recovering your senses, though, this one lands. 23 hits.
For an additional 9 points of piercing.
Piercing damage. Beautiful.
And then Ash, seeing him come for the door, is gonna go ahead and back up over this way a little bit. And that will end my turn.
Right. Casimir.
I think after seeing this spell come out, he'd be wise enough to keep him in eyesight, so he'll step around and simply just fire off a firebolt.
25 hits. Yeah, go ahead and roll damage.
For 12 points of fire damage, and then the ice melts.
12 points as the fire just slams into him, just lights all around him, the ice in the room melting.
That's his turn.
Oh.
We had bless. Don't forget.
Yeah, that might have been... It wouldn't have helped me, but it would have been useful.
I just forgot about it.
I am not the best at range, so, well, Cole charges in.
You make a dexterity saving throw as you step on the grease.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. Where's my saving throw? That's a 10.
You fall prone at the door.
I can use that D6 though, right?
Yeah.
Inspiration.
Hey, that succeeds.
Okay. So, Cole, instead of falling at the door, does a very cool slide in with his shield out in front and sort of uses the momentum from the grace to launch up and stab down from the top of this thing. And, yeah, just gonna get my bloody spear into his skull.
You do have advantage on the first attack.
It was a natural 20 and a natural 1. Oh! Oh, bitch, you know what's smart in this one.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing you got that nat 20, because if you went in and did that like really cool slide and then missed.
I did say go for the throat.
Did the complete opposite.
I know.
Well, so that's 9 points on the attack, and I'm hitting that smite button. Where is it? I don't use this as much as I should.
That was 9 points on the critical?
Hold on a second. So I hit, yeah. It wasn't a great roll. Oh.
There's only 1d6 rolled there.
Yeah, I only see 1d6.
Oh, yeah.
On the d6.
Hold on, and my HP was at 34. I don't know what just happened. Okay, yep.
We got a lot of stuff going on.
And that would have been +2, so 4, 6, 10 points of damage on that one, so 19 points of damage on the attack total. And then, smite. If I can find the button.
Smite me, oh mighty smiter.
What
Smite
level
me,
spell slot?
Oh, second.
So that's 68.
Oh.
Does it get a bonus against, like, what is it, undead and fiends? If I remember right?
Mm-hmm.
From my paladin days, you know?
Yeah, it does. It gets an extra D8.
Not a undead or a fiend.
Swinging for the fences here, bud.
That's only 48.
I know, I gotta roll the other.
Wow.
Okay, so 22 plus 16 was 38 points of smite damage.
So you smited at what level?
Second.
level.
Smoked
Would've been-
at second level.
Yep.
Would have been 68, not
Been
88.
68.
Oh,
not
okay, sorry.
88.
I'll roll just two then. Okay, so that's another 8 points. So that'd be 30 points of smite damage on this thing.
Wow. Yeah, so as you slam, you come in sliding on the grease and you leap into the air as soon as your feet catch the ground. And leap in the air with the blood spear, you slam it down. All that radiant energy now, the little bit that had been on your friends all of a sudden bursts into the tip of the like in a fury that you haven't seen in a while, as that radiant energy just like a burst of lightning guides the spear down into it. You can see the creature reels back as this impact just pierces into it. You yank the spear out, and as this thick black blood just goes splattering across the room, it like stumbles backwards.
Second
It's
attack.
like,
Extra attack. And as I do with this one, I pull the spear out and sort of spin it around and, yeah, you know who I am? I'm Cole fucking Mavvin. And then to go for his throat this time.
Listen, guys, Cole's had a rough day. He's not trying to have any more of this bullshit.
And that's a 19 to hit.
19 hits.
And that's 8 points piercing damage on our friend here.
8 points is one more than you needed.
Nice.
So what does it look like when you kill this death slod?
So after the sort of the spear flourish and I push it through his throat, and I feel it hit back of his spine, and I continue forward and I sever the spine where it connects to his neck, and the body goes limp on the spear, and I have to sort of guide it down and yank the spear out.
Yeah, and you twist and turn, and you yank that spear out, and you can feel the spine crack, and the eyes so these black eyes in its head just kind of glaze over as this massive creature, just heavy, falls forward on top of you just as you manage to step away.
And due to Blood Spear's special ability, I gain 2d6 temporary hit points.
Sure do.
9 temp.
Nice. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
As everything clears down, you look around the room and sort of the carnage. You see a couple cracks in several of the amber coffins, but no, everything seems to still be in one piece.
You say coffins?
Well, sarcophagi, whatever.
Okay. Sorry. I'm like, okay, hang on.
Cole very quietly just takes the moment to sort of scan the room and starts kind of looking behind the pillars and looking up at the roof, just listening. Make sure he doesn't hear anything else stirring.
Yeah, you can hear your own heart kind of beating still heavily in your chest. A little bit of chatter from outside the door, but nothing else.
Cole whips the blood off the spear one more time, throws it on his back, and walks out. And with a sort of sarcastic growl goes, "Your chamber, my lords."
At this point, Durango's leaned up on the shield guardian, looking pretty rough, but doing his best to put on a brave face, right? And he's regaling the other people present with what Cole just did, even though they saw it. And it's like exaggerated and like, you know, got some flourishes.
Okay. And so Durango, you do walk back inside.
Well, if the great circle of Mavvin says that it is safe to proceed, well, I would be a fool not to believe him. And yeah, Durango goes back to that original amber sarcophagus, the one on the north side of the room.
For the
Reaches
sake of
out and
brevity
touches it.
on this, yeah, you are pulled into that amber space, and in the darkness and that void, you can see an eye, just one large blazing red eye staring at you in the darkness. This one is the dark gift of Yurga, the Eye of Shadows. Yurga's gift is the power of true seeing. And it once again reminds you that everything comes at a price. I didn't now keep in mind I did not say true sight. It is just the flair of what they're saying. It is telling you that its power is true seeing.
Yeah, Durango's going to decline. And move on to the next.
The western one, that amber room is filled with this massive form, a 5-headed monstrosity, each head rotating on a reptilian neck, looking down at you, breathing smoke as it offers you, or as the great Tar Hawk, the 5-headed destroyer, offers you great strength.
This is a most tempting gift, my new friend, but I must decline. But perhaps you know a friend of mine. And Durango holds up his hand, uses his other finger to trace out. It's kind of like a tribal treble clef, but with teeth, as he presents the symbol of the muse. Perhaps you are a friend of my friend.
No seeming recognition, no conversation happens. It just stares at you, it's waiting for your answer.
Well, this has been lovely, my friend, but I really must be on my way. And yep, Durango disappears and moves on to the next one.
Okay. The southern sarcophagus, that amber void, a large, imposing figure in pitch black robes that seem to glisten with the stars around them. Yogg the Invincible. Yogg's gift is one of physical resilience.
So, in the presence of these patrons, for lack of a better word, does Durango feel anything similar to how, when he talks to the muse, the same kind of awe, the same kind of...
Make a... I would say it's not, I guess not Arcana for you. Maybe I'll give you Arcana, or I will give you Wisdom or Insight. Or I'll give you an Insight, maybe.
Arcana or Insight, eh? Let's go with Arcana. It's 19.
So with a 19, you don't. Honestly, distinctly, it almost feels like an echo, as if whatever has been these things that have been imprisoned here are shadows of former entities that existed a long time ago. It's not like that same like present feeling when you're speaking with the broker, or even Strahd, or even or anyone else. It's almost like whatever power these things have is a lingering shadow of what they used to be, and this is all that remains.
Once again, Durango declines and exits the room, head held high, looking a little smug. My friends, there appears to have been some confusion, and I do not hold it against you. Not all are as learned and experienced as the great Durango Fortescue. These are but fragments of beings of power. These are but but the bare remnants, a well-picked corpse, preserved for time.
Just that little bit, that's all I got to offer, and that's it, no more complexity or answers to be had.
They seem to be following a, how do you say, like a script in a play. They know only their lines.
So does that mean that Strahd's power that he took is also finite?
My friend, I'm afraid I'm quite unsure. But I can tell you that these are not true beings of power. These are but remnants, preserved, pickled in jars.
Sure.
Well, none of them were sort of sounding like what Strahd's got, yeah?
One
It sounds...
offered to augment my vision in some fashion. The other offered great strength, and the other, and Durango waves a hand dismissively. These are but trinkets to the great Durango Fortescue. These are but parlor tricks. So, my friends, we are faced with the question of who would bother collecting such things, and to what end. I have heard tales that that demons, they can resurrect when they are defeated, rise again in their own place. Perhaps by keeping a peace, this prevents this.
Maybe it's just for exactly what we're doing here, going from one to one and deciding, like a shopping list. And they only kept around what was useful, got rid of the rest.
Speaking of rest, my friends, Durango, motions to his grievous wounds, and perspiring forehead. I find myself quite exhausted after that last dance.
As do I. Let's get out of here and see if we can't find some respite.
So above table, are we just gonna do another short rest and kick in that last door?
I am out of hit dice. I won't
I'm
be
also
gaining
out
any
of hit
hit
dice.
points.
I'm
I
right at
literally-
about 6 HP.
I have 3.
I got 12. 17.
And I'm kind of without the ability to heal anybody.
We need a long rest, man.
Yeah.
If the DM is gracious enough to give it, we kind of just woke up, started kicking indoors, and taking an ass whipping.
If you guys want to, if you got to force the issue and you're going to stay in one spot for an extended period of time, it is what it is, right? So time will pass. Who knows what evil machinations work in the shadows, right?
We should...
Well, I just don't know how much we're gonna learn. I think that walking corpse upstairs is the only thing that might have any sort of answers.
You said, Ash, that there was something in that room beyond the gold. With the wooden horse?
I did.
Yeah, you mentioned... I vaguely remember you mentioning it. Unless I'm wrong. Where those holes are? Here.
I ping it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was something on that other side of the room, but I don't know how we get there.
Perhaps we have our big metal friend finish out the digging.
Yeah. There's something back there. From what we can see from the floor above, there's nothing that we would think is wait, we have that wand, right?
Yeah,
wand of secret doors.
Mm-hmm.
How many charges do we got on that bad boy right now?
I think I have... Actually, I think I have 1 charge. Yeah, I have 1 charge. So we need to use it sparingly.
Do we think that there's anywhere that we haven't checked yet that could possibly have a hidden door that we know would lead back into whatever this antechamber is?
I don't know. I thought the
The-
stairs upstairs would lead down, but
Yeah.
Well, they
that
did.
only-
They just led down into that other part of the hallway.
There was
They did.
there were those closets upstairs that were facing in each other. That's the only other space I can think of.
I think those were like archer kind of bunkers.
Yeah.
No, upstairs towards the back, like behind the statue, like up in the upper stairs. So like the room that was connected to these stairs, there was a set of rooms that was like right here and like
Okay.
right here.
If
didn't
we could
have anything.
squeeze through that area that you saw, will we have to? Well, I could try to get this guy to excavate it. You punched through a door before.
You would have to get the guy to excavate it. There's no way that you can fit a human through there.
Come on, Sir Golem.
I could just teleport through, but I don't. I'd like to come back.
DM, is there any sort of roll I can make to see if I think there's some place that would get us to that room I saw through the cracks? Because just my general understanding of this map right now, I don't know of anything else that's gone that far back that we haven't already been in.
It's kind of where I'm at with it.
Make an intelligence check, I guess, just straight intelligence.
Can I give him
Straight.
help?
Or survival?
I'll do survival.
No?
Can I give him help on that as we're kind of talking about it?
How as you're trying to talk through it and map it out in your heads?
I have a +3 to survival.
Sure, advantage.
12.
The furthest back you got is probably the stairwell that you just went down. Not the big one, but the little one that you guys just came back up. Or the Lich's chamber. Other than that, nothing else has gone that far back.
Oh, we could totally try and do it in the Lich's chamber too.
Would the Lich try to fucking obliterate us because we're
Nah.
casting magic in there?
That's the real question.
He seems
Do
pretty
we
nice.
die? He was amenable, and I see issue with it.
I
As
do.
the player
I
as-
see issue as well.
As the player of Tinsveta currently, I see major issue with it.
Yeah.
But
So let's take a short rest. Durango can unlock the door on the other side. We can look in, not go in, just look in to see what's inside.
I need a long rest before I can.
Yeah, I
dispel
can't do
magic
anything.
again.
we are in dire. We are out of resources.
Yeah.
I mean, I still got a second wind. I don't know about y'all. But
I could, so above board, I could face step in, action dodge in case there's anything bullshit in there. You guys could let me just look around for a minute, and then I could teleport back out.
yeah.
Maybe we could do some excavating with Shatter.
Oh,
That is an option.
well, then we gotta watch out for the whole ceiling coming down on us too.
Right. I would
My
say
friend,
let's.
None knows more about structural integrity than the great Durango Fortescue. Learned architect.
Give him a liar
Jesus Christ.
building, God.
So should we just have the golem excavate out that tunnel to just big enough to where we can fit through? Because we don't want to bring it down the whole place, right?
Yeah, I'm not
Have-
just gonna have him sort of punching it like the
Yeah.
door. Yeah, we'll have him sort of.
So
I don't know how gentle he can be, and again, this place is sort of collapsing anyway, so he might just come down on us. But you know,
we could do that. We could camp out while the golem digs out. We can check in that room. If there's nothing in there, we can go check the other one and get GTFO out of this Amber Temple.
yeah, it's worth a shot anyway. And if what I do doesn't work, Tinsveta can do his thing.
Might die in there.
Good.
You know, reasonable.
I don't think Ash much cares at this point.
Yeah, neither does Tins.
So yeah, I guess while the golem is kicking down some. Oh, you're gonna do the teleport
I don't
in
know.
first.
I don't know. What we're gonna do the.
Other.
Let's do the guardian. Let's see if the guardian
So
can do it.
yeah,
First.
let's do the guardian and see a couple hits. See if it's gonna collapse the temple. If it is, then we'll send Tenzin.
All right, yeah. So as you guys start to figure out this plan and take a look at the cracks, we will pick up after a very short break. So take a quick 10-minute bio here before we dive into what happens next.
Excellent. Spend your elf eggs. Spend them. They're
Free
getting hot.
dice.
Free dice. It's
This
not
could be one
technically
of your last
free.
chances to win this on Sunday, because I don't think we're going to last much longer than this.
Yeah, no kidding. We are
The truth.
-2 is the Oprah of dice. You get some dice, and you get some dice as long as it's the next month.
Yeah, you get a set. One person gets a set of dice, and another person gets. All right. Anyway, we'll be back, friends.
All right. So as all of you step into the sort of haphazardly discarded treasure chamber that you had previously ransacked in this room, that wooden pony still standing there mocking you, Tenzveta. The guardian comes stomping in.
Tins will put up a hand and just be like, I just want to make sure that I'll be able to go in and out. Mind if I take a peek before we go?
Off to you.
And Tins will peek in and see what we see.
So looking through the cracks, the room beyond is dark. But with your night vision, you can see maybe 40, 50 feet through the crack. The only thing you can make out is a series of a couple wooden crates. Almost out of place, untouched. Large, almost probably, 4x4, like 4x4.
Do they look like they've been opened at all?
Make a perception check.
$21.
With a 21? No, actually, they look. Not only do they look like, it's hard to tell if they're sealed from this angle, like sealed shut. They are.
Sure.
They unlike everything else that you've seen inside the Amber Temple, even the Lich's chambers, just about everything else was sort of rotten and dilapidated, particularly if it was wood. These look relatively newer.
Tenses? And holds his breath. He turns around and looks Cole in the face and mentally says, I'm not going in there. Coffin shop. Levels of danger.
Alright, Cole just...
He'll put a finger to his lips and just...
Yep.
And then telepathically say the same to the rest.
You see Ash nod in acknowledgement and then have it an oh shit moment as he puts 2 and 2 together.
And Durango just kind of arches an eyebrow and gestures over his shoulder to the door.
Yeah, Ash will give the hand sign for out and then up.
Sakura,
Tinsel.
quiet.
We do the Scooby-Doo tippy toe out.
Yeah.
It's just the bells. Yeah, Ash will lead the way back up to that chamber that have been staying in.
This one, where there's lamps.
Make your way back up the stairs. He passed these lamps within 24 hours. He's good.
Oh, okay.
And all of you crowd into that familiar space. Now, it has been maybe 6 hours, 5 or 6 hours since your last rest, so it's still early. So if you guys are going to hunker down here till essentially what you assume is morning again, at this point, you're looking at probably like maybe 14 hours in this room.
Tins will Co, would you mind having him bring the wooden horse up here?
Mate, we just left that room because we didn't want to disturb nothing.
Well, we've obviously done louder noises in this space. In fact, we've rocked the place multiple times with loud noises. If they're asleep in there like we think they are, they should have woken up by now.
Mate, I'm not getting you the fucking pony.
Fine, then I'm going to. And Tens will walk out. Go back to the pony. Does it have wheels?
It's a stat. It weighs like a ton, man.
Yeah, I know.
Make a strength save or check. Just a strength check.
Oh boy. $15. Can I? Okay, I have one more spell slot left. Can I use grease to like oil it up on the side, like do it on the horse and like slide it across the ground
up and slather it?
14 hours of the grease horse.
This is how Strahd ends.
Just start pushing it across the floor.
Tens get murked while he's lathering a fucking horse with the grease.
Strahd like tippy-toeing into the temple to try to like fuck us up and just sees Chance going, oh yes, I'm going to have my horse. This is going to be my horse.
So
tiptoes back out, not wanting any of this.
Grease up the horse.
Don't say that sentence like that.
And you begin to slide it out of the room.
Okay.
You make it, we'll say 20 feet before the grease starts to, not only the grease, but the remnants of the stone statue that are crumbled all over the ground. You guys have been walking around. There's just no way you're going to get it pushed through without clearing all the rubble and or picking the horse up over it all.
Fine. Let me check something.
DM, while he's doing that, did you say because of the cloud kill that we would have to take a longer than normal rest? I feel like I remember.
No, not because of the cloud kill, because of the fact that you just have to sit and wait because you're not sleepy.
No, right. But I didn't know if there was. For whatever reason, I thought there was something when we were fighting this.
No, the technicality of it. You have not, right. You've not been up enough for a long rest, so you're just gonna have to essentially sit in this room and wait.
No. I mean, like there was something from the Strahd that caused us to have to sleep, like take more than 8 hours for a rest. Okay. No.
I have a solution. I have woodcarver's tools. I'm gonna cut this fucker in half and start to hollow it out in the middle of this temple.
I don't think you truly comprehend the meaning of quiet.
It's just a saw. It's just, which isn't any like quieter than the that we were doing with fucking Shatter and Thunderstep. So I have a small saw, a knife, and a gouge in my wood carving tools, and I can repair it as part of a short rest. I'm gonna start hollowing this bitch out.
Sure. Okay. So you're gonna cut it in half.
Yep.
Okay. Right.
Start by cutting it in half, so that way I have, you know, the bulk of it available to just
Make a check with your woodcutter's tools.
Okay.
Dexterity, I guess. How many hit points do you have left?
3.
Okay.
I still have my face steps, and I can disengage and dodge, or disengage and dash as a bonus action if I need to.
Mhm.
And I still have blade song, so I can get faster. Anyway. Natural
Of course.
20.
Of course, it's a nat 20 on the woodworking tools
I'm
for the
so upset
stupid
with
fucking
you.
horse.
26!
I'm so upset.
Oh my god, I hate this.
I'm not even mad.
So as Tensveta gets to work on sawing this horse in half, this life-size pony.
It's not just sawing it in half. I'm gonna be hollowing it out as much as I can.
That's a whole different animal, but we'll get to that. What are the rest of you doing with your time?
Now knowing what we know about the crates, Ash is going to be spending a large bulk of the free time that he has. He has a flask of holy water. He's going to start dousing all his arrows in holy water.
Okay. Okay, you have a flask, and how many arrows?
Yeah, I gotta double check that. Okay. It doesn't say.
You had quite a box. I'm gonna say with that flask, you can get. You're kind of soaking. I'll give you 20.
Okay. That'll be the rest of my arrows that I have on hand.
And it utilizes the holy water.
Okay.
What is you specifically got holy water, right? This isn't water from somewhere else?
It was the blessed water from the pond in that one town that I forget the name of right now.
Okay.
I just remember I got a flask of holy water out of it.
Okay. What about the rest of you?
As Tensveta falls into a steady rhythm with the saw, and the noise echoes from the main chamber into the room, Durango's going to use that like a metronome as he continues to work on the song he was composing about Strahd, the life of Strahd, everything that they read in the journal and everything. Just going to keep working on that.
Cole is going to move the bag that's next to Durango a bit closer to where the crack in the wall is. And he's going to move a lot of there's a bunch of debris out of the way. After he's done with that, he's gonna start digging through and take things out of his packs and everything. And in the very bottom of it, it looks like sort of a sewn-in false bottom flap. Gonna pull that open, and in there is a book. Pulls it out, and emblazoned on the front of it is the symbol of Lifehander. And he's gonna spend some time going through and sort of going through the pages, looking at some of the footnotes scrawled in some of the bottoms, and he's gonna start marking a couple pages. And every once in a while he's gonna reference that and then go into his bag and grab something and reference it again and go into his bag and grab something. Mostly that.
Tens. Above table, Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever cut anything in half with a handsaw?
Yes, many times in my life. I've worked in construction.
Like a life-sized pony.
Yeah, I've cut through logs.
Okay.
with a handsaw. It takes a minute. It takes
It's
about an hour.
through
With
log.
the
A
handsaw.
log.
With
A
the
log.
handsaw.
Yeah.
With the handsaw, definitely.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
A log. And we're
Mhm.
talking about a pony-sized
Mm-hmm.
block of wood. Okay.
Yep.
So it's going to be, even with a 26,
You gave me this flaw.
I'm going to, 26, it's going to take you a couple hours.
4 hours? 3?
Let's say 3 hours.
Okay.
And you're also trying to hollow it out.
Yep, I got a gouge.
Okay. I'm going to say in total, including hollowing it out, probably 6 hours of
Okay.
continuous labor. Okay. I know, you're an elf. So you get to work on this. Start sawing in the darkness. You just... I have seen so many people lose their minds in my lands. But this is a first.
Hello.
Sitting on a piece of rubble, maybe 15 feet away from you, is that dark-haired, pale, tall figure. Regal, menacing. Something seems different about you, Tensvetter Neyota. But you have all your teeth, so I take it you didn't go with that one, huh?
I'm just curious. What's the name of the one that you accepted?
That is my little secret, but I'm sure you will figure it out. You seem like a smart boy. Too smart to be continuing down this path. What do these people mean to you? These band of misfits that you have traveled here with. Look, the sheer incompetence to get to this point. And here you are, down here by yourself in this freezing cold temple, sawing a horse in half. Surely you must want more than this.
I'm pretty set on having this horse.
I don't mean just a horse, Tens. I mean, why waste your time, these fools? If you want to know which gift I accepted, I will show you. I can give it to you.
Frankly speaking, my dear Strahd, I would be wasting my time here or up there, and frankly speaking, I don't want to see them at the moment. Can't stand the sight of a couple of them, at least. So, I'd rather spend my time with a wooden horse. Do you not ever get tired of people? I do, on a regular basis.
Oh, you're so much fun, though. Entertainment. You get tired of the same old people in Barovia, these cretins. But ones like yourself are just absolutely delicious. So full of life, boisterous. And to watch it drain out of you from the moment you step foot in my land, it's just been delightful.
I'm sure.
But you have learned much, and you've come a long way, and I must say I am impressed with the progress you have made. But I think it is time we put an end to these foolish games and decide which amongst you deserves the right to join me.
Define
time.
right.
All this time, I was certain it was going to be Fortescue. He's just got something about him. He's so magnetic. Seems like a lot of fun to be around, but I don't know, this recent change in you has me all tingly inside.
I never changed. People have always been my bread and butter, and I've always done what I've wanted to.
And suddenly he's behind you. And just like you can see, just like his face, you can feel this cold on your neck. No, there is something different. I can smell it. You may be able to lie to your friends, but you cannot lie to me. I have seen inside that head of yours. I have seen your dreams and your nightmares. There is something different.
He turns around to face him nonchalantly, and yet still cold, and just says, yes, there is something different. And he kind of leans in close. I prefer your highness these days. You see, I remember a story about a prince that came in and did things. Became king of the land. Yet I see no king before me. And Fortescue is too self-centered to be able to run a land. Cole, I could arguably say the same. And now Ash is afraid of fire. You can't rule a land if you're afraid it's going to burn. So, and he turns back to the horse. Unless you're going to continue to rattle off idle threats, you can either go away or help me with this.
My threats are never idle, Tensveta. Just remember one thing. Your existence to this point is because I have allowed it. You tried to escape my land and I stopped it. Your being in this moment, your life as it inches away in front of you, even now. Like is because I have granted it.
He looks at the gouge in his hand, spins it in his palm. He turns. You are such a sad creature. And he turns back around and just goes back to gouging.
He snaps a finger. And the horse lights on fire. The grease still on it, igniting the flames, and all of it goes up in smoke. Now, this is maybe 5 hours into your little venture here. And with a laugh, Your Majesty, I don't think you understand what it means to rule.
How fast
will
is it
show
burning?
you. It's up pretty quick. That's an old, very dry horse with grease. What are you doing?
Well, I can. Want to check something?
You haven't rested.
I know.
This fucking horse.
Ooh.
When I said the horse was gonna get him killed, I meant it.
If I wanted to kill him, I would
I can-
kill him.
I can-
What aren't you
I can
understanding?
instantaneously light or snuff out a candle, torch, or small campfire. Would you consider this a small campfire?
I wouldn't.
Or is it a
I would
bonfire?
consider it a bonfire
It's-
at this point. Yeah.
Damn it!
Hmm.
I have to argue.
You covered it in grease.
I know I did.
Yeah.
But you said it was going like. Anyway.
Yeah, on the
Um,
bottom. I mean, until I get it. But come on, you said you put it everywhere. It's a 10-foot thing of grease.
Oh yeah, really greased it up.
That's enough. And it was very dry wood.
Tins is going to stare at the fire. Losses are expected.
Think of it as allegory for your struggle thus far and the pointlessness of this continued effort. But I will see you soon, Your Highness. And that laughter just fades into the dark as you are left once again all alone with the Arcana off.
Tens, the rest of you hear him just scream in absolute rage as he immediately turns to Summer and just starts punching the flame-ridden fire horse.
Sounds like he's
Durango
giving up.
mutes his mandolin and looks to the other occupants of the room with a raised eyebrow.
I think he might have given up on the horse.
Kind of surprised it took him this long.
Would we be able to smell the burning wood and grease?
What's your passive perception? 11? Probably not. I would say maybe ash. I mean, especially burning. I would say, yeah, you notice the smell of smoke. The other two, nothing. It's subtle.
Wait a minute. Something's not right. And Ash will grab some of the arrows he hasn't dipped in holy water yet and just kind of have them in his hands and grab his bow and go look over the balcony to where he knows this room's at.
You can just see Tens in the middle of, like near the rubble, just like curb stomping the horse's head that's on fire, just screaming, just.
Yeah, I think they else lost it. And Ash come back in. He set the horse on fire and now he's punching it. I don't know. We all know how I feel about fire, so yeah. And he's gonna sit back down and keep working on his arrows.
Durango looks to Cole and then towards the door as if to say, like, you or me.
Yeah, alright. Cole gets up.
Durango, intrigued, follows.
The elf won't die, we know this already. And Ash stays there, still working on his arrows.
Casimir just kind of continues reading through his books and looks up and he continues to read through.
Yeah.
Casimir, what is your professional opinion of how we operate? You've been the leader of a village, like legitimately, like, would this work if we, we're not trapped in a dimension?
I think "we" is a strong word, and I'd be reluctant to use it at the moment. But, like, 4 people thrust together by circumstance that genuinely just dislike each other. Yes, I think I'll go with that.
Yeah, this temple ain't making that any better.
I'm reluctant to say this again, but I feel like it must be said by someone. Yeah, even despite the fact that I am not, I don't judge you or hold you accountable for your actions downstairs. At least the, losing control sort of bit, but to just accept that darkness, knowing the potential consequences and having just no regard. What if it had turned you into a vampire, like Strahd, right then and there? What if you had turned around and killed all of us in that very moment? You had no idea what could have happened. It was incredibly selfish. So I also don't, quite hold it against everyone else for being so upset with you.
Well, maybe here's to hoping trading one darkness for the other means that it actually gets a little bit lighter.
It's a sort of ends justifies the means, but again, you're asking me what I think of you as a group, as a unit. It just doesn't exist. You're all incredibly self-centered, and that's just not how a group operates. I mean, Strahd will use that against you at every turn. I promise you.
Well, if there's one thing we hate more than each other, pretty sure it's Strahd.
For now. But you're not spending every day in cramped quarters with Strahd. How quickly that hatred can turn. Especially in this place.
Here's to hoping that either we die trying, or when our cage is finally opened up, we just, kind of all explode out of it in our own separate ways. I don't have any interest of doing anybody needs harm.
Many have come before you. Large groups, better coordinated soldiers, team members, and all of them were pulled apart, one after another, set upon one another by insecurity, greed, doubt.
Well, then here's to hoping to a quick death.
Yes, if anything, the only difference you have between the ones that have come before you is that you're all at least outwardly in disdain of one another. Perhaps that is your greatest advantage in this situation. It is certainly something that is different. But, sorry if I said too much. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just being honest with you.
I don't take it personally. Kind of a dislikable guy. I get it.
I've never seen you as dislikable. Again, just a little short-sighted, self-centered. We should try letting them in. There's nothing wrong with who you are. Cole and Durango, as you head out and you see down the stairs, you can see the horse burning in the center of the room amidst the rubble of the statue on the floor. Tensveta just kicking at the burning head.
Oh no. By now he's pulled his rapier out and is just fucking beating the shit out of it.
So, trailing slightly behind Cole, going down the stairwell, Durango's going to, as discreetly as he can, cast Detect Thoughts.
And that's just a regular rapier?
Yeah, that's the regular rapier. So he's gonna be messing up his rapier in the midst of this.
Mm-hmm. I've seen way too much forged in fire.
Okay, so what's my save? Is a wisdom saving throw? Yeah.
For detect thoughts, I do believe. Just let me look that up real quick.
Should be. Yeah.
I'll even give myself disadvantage due to his summer rage. Yeah.
Yeah, wisdom save. Absolutely.
It doesn't matter what it was, you failed.
Got a 5. And even if I didn't have disadvantage, it would have been a 13. As you peer into Tenz's mind, it is pure, unadulterated, murderous intent behind a severe, intense disdain for the lack of cohesion and understanding that this group has had since they met. Tenz is now at the point of there is no way this particular group alone is going to be able to take him on, and Tenz will do something stupid to try and take the crown.
By crown, you mean control of what's happened of the group. Yeah.
Not just that. I mean, his intent is to kill Strahd and take over Barovia at this point. Just to spite Strahd.
And this is all plainly understandable.
Well, when you dig a little bit deeper, you get more than just the pure murderous intent and disdain with the group.
For sure. Durango's gonna reach out ahead of him and grab Cole by the shoulder as discreetly as he can, and then just shake his head and gesture back to the stairs.
Cole's just gonna go and look out there, and he's gonna start fishing through one of his pouches, like he's looking for like maybe some jerky that might have like fallen out of the bottom at some point. He just
I do have a passive perception of 16. So if you're trying to hide from me in the shadows.
Cole has relatively heavy armor. It's just, he just says, it's as he comes down those stairs, it's clonk, clonk, clonk.
Well, I haven't come all the way down. I'm basically, I've gone down as far as Rango would have. I probably wouldn't have gotten down very far so I had the vantage point from above.
It's like a temple interior, like it would just reverberate. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I getcha. But after like a minute or two of that, I'm not approaching, not judging, not saying a word, just clonk, clonk. Back into the room.
So I'm gonna delete my rapier off my sheet.
Okay.
And then he's going to pull off the hilt of the sun sword. Just look at it for a minute. Just anger going through every ounce of his body. He's like gripping it to the point where his knuckles are turning white.
It's emotionally backwards, like back, because it's essentially how it communicates. It's you're feeling the same sort of anger. It's make a wisdom save for me. Another one.
9.
So there's this brief moment where your anger is just so in this moment you were just enraged, and in your thoughts just cannot get beyond wanting to rule Barovia, and all of a sudden that twists. Even in your mind, you can't even get beyond Barovia. All you can see is Strahd's face and this burning hatred for Strahd just sort of resonates between you and you. Now you can't even control it. All you feel is this immense hate as the sun sword bursts and flares again to life. And you just continue to hack at the horse with the sun sword flaring as it just cuts it and and as it cuts, it burns even more.
So we're of a fucking accord finally, huh?
You still feel a bit of that disdain. And almost a feeling of superiority.
From it, or from, like, of my own
From it, yeah.
I don't care about your feelings of superiority over me. You're just a fucking tool. Just like the rest of them. You were saying something? But you're muted.
Yeah, with that, it just... Again. But you have in that moment where you connected with it, it almost overtook you. You have a strong feeling you know exactly what it takes to get it lit again.
And that is not going to be something that's going to be a hard thing to tap into right anymore. That fucking horse, man.
If there was one good thing that came out of the horse, at least Tens can light the sword again.
Tens will just put the hilt away, grab his coat that he had taken off because he'd probably be getting into a bit of a cold sweat cutting this horse in half, and put his coat back on and march his way back up to the room. Take a moment at the door and just try to compose himself. Go in. Did you enjoy the show?
I very much, thanks.
To be honest, Sir Tens, I'm enjoying catching the entirety of the show. I missed the first act, I am afraid. Perhaps you could fill me in.
Strahd lit it on fire in front of me.
Durango's eyebrows jump up for a sec.
We had a brief conversation.
Why, Mr. Tens, these are so few words to describe such an occurrence. Please elaborate.
There's no need. You have all the information you need for me on this one.
So you say that Lord Strahd, he took disdain toward your horse? And you are quite upset?
No, he continued to twist and turn and fuck with me as he fucks with all of us on a regular basis. I don't know what you want from me.
And this is all he had for you, Mr. Tens, was words? He did not offer you, say, a nibble?
You could arguably say that I offered it to him, but he didn't take it. He's a coward. He's an idiot. And he will fall.
Durango just nods and smiles in agreement and gives Cole like as discreet a look as he can.
Cole's probably sitting back down with the book up, and as Tens is talking, just sort of glances up and glances back down, catching Durango's eye.
Well, my endeavors are over, so rest up, I guess.
Are you still in summer?
Yeah.
And you're this pissy in summer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Noted.
Well, I'm always angry in summer.
Yeah, but I think Ash kind of figures that this is more so a winter attitude than it is a summer attitude. You're a little hot-headed in summer, but you're not as, like... You're hot in summer, but you're not this cold in summer.
That's fair.
Right. So as all of you settle in for a long, long rest, at this point, many hours have gone by already, and sleep is hard to come by for a lot of you. The wounds and stuff aching in the cold, icy interior of this temple. Still just very difficult to get used to. You shiver even in your blankets. Most of you, with the exception of Ash and Casimir, who also seems, very comfortable. Who's keeping first watch?
I'm not gonna take first. I'll take the final watch.
I can take first. Tins is angry enough to stay awake for an extended period of time.
Make a perception check.
13.
Somewhere outside through the crack in the wall, again, the wind howls and whips through. There's a storm. You see bits of snow flurry through the cracks and kind of dance in the light before they melt and fall to the floor.
DM, question, what are these pallets made of?
They seem to be just fur, like wolf fur. And you guys had all gotten, like, heavy wolf, like...
Yeah, I got winter clothes for us.
Mm-hmm.
How bad of an idea would it be to light it on fire to keep us a little bit warmer? Like, burn pieces of it at a time to get the room a little bit more... Like, even if it's 30 minutes of heat, it'd be better than nothing.
Make an intelligence check.
Can I call it a survival check?
Sure.
18.
Yeah, so you know that the fur on these types of things would go up incredibly fast. And then it would get down to the leathery part, which is usually treated, which wouldn't really burn well at all. It would just sort of kind of melt into it. But it's not a good idea.
Okay.
Wouldn't
Cool.
do much, despite just make a mess, smell terrible.
Sure.
Probably freak out the guy that's afraid of fire.
And probably freak out the guy.
I
Not
had
that-
a plan for that.
Yeah, you had a plan for it last time, 2 tens.
Nah, he's got an actual plan for it this time around. He was experimenting last time. Okay, cool. That's all I got.
Sorry. Your watch passes, no issues. The night sweeps over Barovia outside in the mountains. That storm still rages every once in a while. You hear thunder, lightning, faint echo of laughter in the dark.
He'll wake up Cole for the next watch.
Alrighty. Right. Cole doesn't say much, but you see him go to where the crack in the wall is, and you notice now there's a few things set up. He's got a sensor out. He's got and a lot of this stuff is sort of makeshift, but he's got a few candles set up, and a quick little sort of incense ray, just enough to prop it up so it can burn properly. He makes sure all that is in order before he starts his watch.
Make a perception check.
Uh, 10.
Yeah. So as you start your watch again, it's difficult to call it even a watch, right? Because the doors are shut to the room. You hear that storm continue to rage outside. You can see the snow kind of pushing in through that crack again, just flurrying in before it melts from the heat of the even the torchlight in the room, even though the temple's so cold. But as it piles at that cracked door, you don't hear anything else. You don't see anything else. You are almost still lost in your book of prayer.
As it starts to approach dawn, Cole's gonna put the book of prayer down sort of in the center, and light a few of the candles and light the incense. And go, I know it's not the ideal conditions for this, and I might not have everything exactly what I need, but hopefully considering the circumstances, you'll understand. And pulls out the silver and copper goblet, and puts it directly in front of the crack in the wall. I'm going to try to spend the next hour to cast ceremony on myself. Atonement. I think I might have been a bit unfair, yeah. I'm starting to think I'm here for a reason. I think I was supposed to be here. I think you set me in this direction, and it's taken me a lot to I'm finding it hard to trust you. And I say I'm gonna be perfect. Still gonna be me. But maybe I don't need to screw over innocent people in the process. So I hope this is enough. So I'm presenting the copper and silver goblet in place of the 25 gold worth of powdered silver. Attempting to, anyway, knowing that powdered silver is probably really difficult to get in Barovia. It says here, it's a willing person. I need to make a DC 20 wisdom check.
All right. Well,
That's not a good roll for me.
Roll raggy.
So
I will give you, I'll give it to you at advantage because you're doing the ceremony as well. I think, yeah, we'll call it inspiration.
What do you need to roll on the die for this to be successful?
I need, I've got +1 to wisdom. Yeah, I've only got a wisdom of 12, so. Well, hold on a second. Second column, is that saving throw? The number to the bottom right-hand corner of wisdom?
Mm-hmm.
That's saving throw? Okay. So that's
+4 to it, yeah.
Oh, okay. So ability check, advantage. This is tough. Here we go.
Ooh.
Yeah, no. So cool, stay at it for an hour. And then another hour. Until it starts to get light out, and just he'll stay there and in a prayer position, and yeah.
So what I will give you here is you continue this ceremony and prayer. And as the sun begins to rise, there is this moment again where it just peaks over the valley, over the mountains, and it's sort of rising above you, right? So it's coming in, and it hits just right through the crack, glints off the goblet. And for a moment, as the sun just peeks through this almost impossible cloud cover in Barovia, there is a warmth that fills you. And while you're not 100% where you need to be, you feel right. Like it is emotional in a way you haven't felt spiritually since you were a child. And almost this impossible sensation and this thought of you being in this place where it's no longer a question of men, right? It's not a political thing. This is pure evil in its most unadulterated and unhindered form, just rampant in the world, and this calling and this feeling that you are meant to save lives here. And in your pocket, in your pouch, I guess, if you will, or I don't know if you would have had it out, that symbol begins to radiate warmly as you finally attune to your symbol of Ravenkind.
Feel a sort of warmth coming from, it'll probably be in an inside jacket pocket. Back to work.
Right. And as everybody else wakes up around you and you all again brush off the soreness and the cold from the night before, it just creeps in as you exit the what had become warm. It's that the warmth of your bedrolls, hard to leave in the instant shattering cold of the temple around you, still fresh with snow on the ground in the room from the night before. You each get your long rest, and the day is yours. What last remaining secrets lie in the Amber Temple?
Well, wakey. Let's go break down some walls, huh?
Sins will go ahead and cast mage armor on himself. Get it done and out of the way. He pulls out a marble and just swallows it.
That's not gonna feel good coming back out.
It won't come out.
That sounds even worse.
It's fine.
Yeah, Durango stretches and groans slightly as he rolls over in his pallet and slowly rises to his feet, making a show of it, much like he's climbing out of a feather bed. Like as far as he's concerned, this was the peak of comfort. He rises and snaps a couple times and is instantly immaculately groomed. My friends, I trust the night found you well.
As well as it ever does.
You found me. That's all you need to know.
Are you still summer?
Yep. Tend is an angry boy.
It's not the anger that Ash is picking up on.
Durango just smiles at Tens and grabs his mandolin, gives a quick strum to make sure everything's in tune, and starts playing a song about a boy that lost his horse.
Oh. Oh, Durango said bee sting.
Okay, hold on. I need to.
I went through the temple with a horse that was on flame.
Oh, it's all flame.
So it's not quite, lighting the guy, on fire that's afraid of fire, but it's close.
He stays in summer. You see him kind of grin for a moment, just says, "It would have been a glorious steed to fucking ride through these lands on." He burned it before my eyes. He wipes away a single tear that evaporates. Thank you for your ode.
So you're just flipping through his books.
I miss it, Tens. I shall see to it that you live forever in song.
I appreciate it. DM, we are going to be trading out. Let's see. On our friend Casimir's spell list, we're going to trade out Prestidigitation for Ray of Frost. Polymorph will go into greater invisibility slot.
Okay.
And last but not least, let me check the rest. See what this one does. He will prepare, instead of suggestion, he'll drop suggestion and prepare protection from evil and good.
Okay. Right. You can see he closes his spell book. All right, well, I'm prepared for whatever lies ahead. What was the coffin store you mentioned?
Oh no, that was actually quite literal. It was a coffin store. It had some vampires. Yeah, we should probably tell you we're about to go fuck up some vampires or be fucked up by some vampires. One of the two, maybe both.
Wonderful. All right. This is
It'll be
good a day
fun
as any
to
to
say
die.
the least. And then I think, how long does that last actually? How long? Just before we go into the room, whatever it is we're gonna do to try and get in the room. Did we decide on that? We need to decide on that. Are we gonna try and punch our way through first?
Yeah, I don't think there's any point in sending you in there. We know what's on the other side now.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and just bust in the doors. If we wake them up, at least we got them in the funnel.
That's true. I think that's a great idea. Great point. Okay.
All right.
Unless they have like Misty Step, which they probably do, but whatever.
So, you make your way back down to the bottom floor of the temple. Down those stairs, the guardian slams into the room. Now, the rubble above, you have seen, I guess, hold on. So as we get back in the room here. Now, the temple itself is not particularly sturdy. It is falling apart. You have maybe what you need to clear is about a 10-foot section of wall.
Durango, do you think you could possibly just shatter it?
My friend, I do not believe this would be outside the capabilities of the great Durango Fortescue, but I fear for the integrity of this structure. Who could build such a thing to withstand the might of the great Durango Fortescue?
And we're probably going to want his might to be able to be a little more focused on something that we need it for.
Durango looks at Ash and plays a couple of sharp notes in succession, as like an agreement.
All right, back up. Go ahead and send the wrecking ball through.
Yeah, that Mr. Golem.
Oh, he's been demoted.
You went from Sir to Mister.
Sir. Oh, how could I? How improper of me, Sir Golem, if you don't mind.
So do me a favor. Go ahead and make a. I'm gonna say you're gonna hit with all of these. So roll his damage 3 times for me.
Okay.
Doesn't he? Is he considered a siege weapon?
No.
No. I did just hit
More,
that.
he's more of a shield than anything else.
I did just roll that just so I could get the attack damage thing up, but he did roll a natural 20
Sure.
if you want to take that into consideration.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, wrong. Yeah. Okay, so that's 14 bludgeoning, 13 bludgeoning, and 9 bludgeoning.
Okay. So as he starts to make way, he clears out. He's just smashing bits of wall. And as this is happening, the room and the temple are shaking as he is cracking. Like more bits of rubble are kind of falling into from the ceiling into the path. It clears with smoke and debris. It just kind of fills up as that first 5-foot section falls. And he continues to hammer away. Yet through the smoke and the dust, you guys hear screams.
Casimir will cast.
You're muted.
It should be now. Casimir will cast protection from evil and good on Cole, specifically. So for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, I've got the spell right here.
Yeah.
Undead, and is the one that we're looking at. Can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them. Very cool.
Be nice to have just in case.
Yeah.
All right. So as this like screaming sound begins to permeate the room, it's followed by hissing and another a bit of laughter as you hear it through the dust. The golem is still winding up and just trying to take down this bit of stone and rubble.
Ash is gonna hold his attack for anything that is not one of the 6 primary things of this group that comes through that wall.
Okay. And with your passive perception, I would say you probably see it first, and then Tensveta.
Tens will light the sword and a bloodthirsty hunger.
And it's not from the ground, but from above. It's climbing along the walls, through the crack, through the ceiling, start to pour out these vampires above the shield guardian. You can see them come through the smoke, and by the time you see them, they are already in the room. But that is where we will roll initiative.
All right. Question, DM.
Say he is here.
Would I still have access to my Aura of Treachery stuff, like my class stuff, at this point in time?
At this point, yes. Next level, we'll have that conversation for next session. But for right now, yes.
Can you make sure to put Cass on the list?
Yep.
I rolled it again, and it gave me 2. One for you again, JD, and then one for me. So the 15 one.
No, I have. Okay, yeah, I had. There we go. I don't know why you're in there twice, but that's all right.
It automatically rolls 2 for me. I don't know what's up.
No, because you're on the map somewhere invisible
Oh, okay.
when you stormed off in a huff. And
I got it.
like covering you? Like I'm missing it. There we go. Still feel like I'm missing one. Oh yeah, there it is.
Oscar,
Sorry.
the server. Give me a second here.
Excuse me.
All right, so as these vampires just begin pouring out of the room above through the smoke and the dust and the rubble, Ash, you had a action readied.
Yep. Had a couple arrows. These are the holy arrows. Do I get both of mine or just the one arrow for a held action?
I'm gonna tell you right now, it wasn't holy water, so it doesn't matter.
Fudge me.
It should only be one attack on a held action.
Okay, so just the one arrow.
Yes,
14.
14 misses.
Of course it does.
Yep. So through the smoke, it's kind of hard. They're darting through and crawling at this blinding speed, and the rubble is thick with dust and like so you're sort of choking on it for a moment. It just catches you in the lungs the wrong way as you fire. That first arrow just misses its target. And with that, Durango.
Rango's doing some quick measurements here. Yeah, as the enemies start swarming into the room, Durango launches into a mandolin riff that ends with a very dramatic stomp. The air around the creatures explodes as he casts Shatter.
Where's our friend the golem?
I'm sorry, I had to move him. He's here, breaking through the wall still.
Oh shit.
So he's in that space.
Yep.
Bring it down one. You don't hit us.
All right, go ahead and roll. No, what am I gonna roll? Constitution saving throws, yeah?
Yeah, DC 15.
All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4 failures, 2 successes. As this sudden crack in the air and just this loud, more and more bits of the ceiling begin to kind of collapse, and the vampires that are crawling around it suddenly have to pivot and shift like cats in midair as they fall to the ground.
That was a fucking awesome roll.
That was fucking
great.
great.
Yeah, that's 32 damage.
All right.
Jesus.
Wow.
And for a bonus action, Durango's going to change the tune of the song and start singing a song about the heroic antics of Sir Cole. You know, defeating evil and winning over the maidens. Yes. They have an inspiration day.
Awesome.
And yeah, Durango's just gonna move over a little bit.
Oh my god.
Hmm.
Oh no.
Fuck. Those initiative rolls. The audience can't see it, but we can. And trust us by our reactions. Oh my god!
It is one away from being block initiative. Insane.
Those are just crazy initiative rolls.
I don't know how you managed to beat him, to be honest with you.
All right, so the first one comes crawling out of the dark, like again crawling along that ceiling. He just darting towards you before it drops down on you, Durango. Jesus, this is how this is gonna go. First attack is a 9 for the bite. As it comes toppling towards the ceiling, you just barely manage to push to the side and bring your loot up. You kind of wedge it in between as that the vampire just latches onto you. The second one will be an attack with the claws.
There's enough vampire to go
That's
around.
a 24.
Let's spend a luck point for a reroll there.
The 25.
You're shitting me, right? Yeah, no, that definitely hits.
Roll go up.
Okay, all right. You take 7 points of slashing damage.
God, I was hoping they were gonna stay in that funnel for longer.
You and me both.
All right, this one is going to dart out forward at you, Tensveta. Same thing. It'll run and dart and lash at you with the bite. It's an 18.
18 hits. What in the actual
21
fuck?
21 points of piercing damage. As it
Jesus
just
Christ.
darts out, and these teeth just sink into it. You can see it. It like crawls like a creature on the floor, and it sinks into your leg.
A reaction uncanny dodge. They can have that.
Okay.
Eat me. Literally.
He tried.
Wow.
That was very statistically shocking.
I'll tell you what. Let's undo that. I did that wrong.
Okay.
All right.
I'll take that.
Yeah, I'm reading it now because it's. I see what I did. So what I need you to do instead is, because an 18 hit, is make a strength saving throw or dexterity.
Or dexterity? I'll take dexterity, please. And thank
That's
you.
a grapple.
Oh, okay. 23.
23.
Get off
Yep.
me.
So as it attempts to grapple you with the first strike, it does not. The second attack is also with the claws of 15 misses. Great. We'll go that way. If I realized if I'd hit you with that bite, this has done a much different fight. I misread the multi-attack. All right, this one is going to drop down on Casimir.
Oh, God. So AC is 15?
Yep, same thing with the claws. It's a 14.
Just misses.
And the second one, 16.
He will shield.
Okay. Yeah, so as the creature comes slamming down that first strike, he managed to dart out of the way agilely. The second one, the shield comes up, and that arcane energy deflects the claws as they just sort of scrape off of it. This one's going to drop down on you, Ash. Same thing.
Yeah, that'll hit.
All right.
I'm gonna use my reaction to impose disadvantage on that.
You're not within 5 feet.
Oh
That's
shoot,
on
that's
Ash.
with 5 feet. Yeah,
Yep.
shit.
Yep. You could have done it for Casimir, but you didn't need it. 24. I need you to make a strength or dexterity saving throw.
Strength or dexterity
But
saving
you
throw.
are within 10 feet of me, so you get all protection on it, so you get +3.
Fuck it. What is that? 12? 12 on the dex save.
That's a
Got it.
failure, so you are grappled. So now I'm going to do this.
Fuck me sideways.
Advantage against grappled targets.
Grappled.
I know its movement goes to 0. And I think is that it on that one?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's just that the speed becomes 0.
All right, great.
And the effect can end if you get hit by like a thunder wave.
Yep. 25 hit.
25 hits.
All right, great. Now we're talking.
Oh boy.
I don't want to be talking. I don't like this conversation. I would like to remove myself from it.
All right, well, that's not as good. So you take 12 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
Or it's piercing and necrotic, but your I can't. This is a real bummer with the way that they
7.
have this set up. Say it's 7 necrotic damage. So your hit point maximum is now reduced by 7.
Hey. Make a note. And I'll do that.
And it heals 7. As it grapples onto you and sinks its teeth into your shoulder, you can feel it biting down and draining your life as it does so. This next one is well, you're already grappled. Going to dart down on you, Ash. That is a 26. That's a natural 20. Oops, I don't think that's right.
That's not critical damage.
I don't like this.
Or 10 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And then another bite. For a 22.
Yeah, we'll do it.
There we go. That's 14 points of piercing and necrotic damage. Your hit point total is reduced by another 8.
Hey.
There. So this one should be at that. This one should be at that. This one will be at that. Oh, right back up to full. Love that. Love that for me. All right, and with that, Ash, it is your turn. You are grappled.
Which one has me grappled?
Technically the one on the right, but you will just to say, just in general, you are grappled. So
Okay. With that, you see Ash just start getting a shit ripped out of him, and you see a now familiar blue tinge to his eyes, and you see his hands kind of ice up, and I'm gonna hit that cone of cold, and we're gonna try to do it and hit that way. The DC is different for this one.
yeah, what's the Constitution saving DC? I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta double check.
I think it's 15.
So when we talked about it, they said it would just have to be my spell date save DC. Is that what we're still going with? Well, either way, if that's what they rolled, they fail either way for this one. So
Yep.
nice.
Yeah, they both fail. But if that's what I told you, then that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay, so then for this, it's DC 12 for 41 points of damage.
41 points of damage, huge, massive damage as the as this blast of ice just comes cascading out of your hands again, filling the room. You watch the entire wall to the backside just begin to freeze over, all that amber clouding and becoming opaque. As the vampires are just like frozen in place. You are still grappled.
And then bonus action surge. Or I guess it's just
That's just a free thing to do.
free thing to do. But yeah, then we're gonna go ahead and lash out with the short sword I got. Yeah, at the one that's right there. So 2 strikes incoming on that for 19.
19 hits.
Oop. For 8. And then second strike, a nat 1. Bad. Thank you, Boundary. Badly misses Vampire Spawn on a natural 1.
Yeah, so that first strike is strikes true, right? The creature like frozen in place still. It shatters the ice around it. You can see chunks of the flesh sort of rip off, and there's like bone that is visible on this vampire spawn that is just grappling onto you, but it's still like it has you in this death grip. The second, when you try to bring the sword down again, it's just okay. It like manages to pivot you around and maneuvers its body, still holding onto you tightly, and you just can't seem to get a good grip on it. Tense.
Tense is going to bonus action, steady aim, and then booming blade this bitch that tried to bite him. So he has advantage on the attack. 23 to hit. And because it's considered a sunblade, these are considered undead, yeah?
They are undead, yes.
So I get another D8 to the damage.
Okay.
And I get sneak attack because I had advantage. And let's add that extra D8 there now. So that is 15 points of damage plus another 15 and 17, Jesus, of radiant in total, and then it takes a D8 of thunder. So that is how much, DM? That's 15, 32, 34, 30. Yeah, 34 points of damage in total right this moment.
Yep, there we go. Boom, yep. So the massive hit the one that is attempting to grapple you, it's like it's fighting you in place. You just you wait for it. It comes lunging at you again, going in for that bite. With a huge strike with the sunblade, it bursts into light. You can see the creature screams as that fiery blade cuts through it.
And Tins is just sitting there just...
Oh, I'm going to do this, though, just to make it easier.
Thank you. I can't move because I steady aimed. So that's his turn.
Oops. Cole.
Cole's gonna stand up straight. Straighten out his jacket. Right, go. I look good. I look... Yeah, okay.
Impeccable, Sir Cole. He shouts over the melee, dodging teeth.
About that time Ash cuts in with an
Don't interrupt me, Ash. Because I was about to give a reintroduction to your friends here. I'm the great Sir Cole Mavvin, greatest Dawnbreaker in 5 generations. And the light of life Fander shines through me, and I'm gonna cast sunlight.
Oh my god. Boy. Y'all, I thought we were breaking out the big guns with some good rolls going on here.
Oh, don't wait until Casimir's turn too.
And that,
muted, sir.
Yep. You pull out the symbol of Holy Ravenkind. Yeah, I just need the sunlight to... Did you cast it from it?
I don't have the ability to cast it from it, so I gotta pull up the spell somewhere.
I thought it was attached to it. Sorry.
Oh, that's no worries.
Beautiful. Stunning. I love that for us. What a fine time to be attuned to the thing that gives us the thing that we need.
Honestly, you worked for that for a while.
He did.
Yeah.
There's a lot of RP for that.
Okay, well, it's right here. It's sunlight. It's an action 5 charges presenting the holy symbol. Bright light and 30-foot radius and dim light. The light is sunlight and lasts for 10 minutes. So it sheds bright light in a 30-foot radius.
That's it. But it's considered sunlight.
Yep. And so that is going to do... Starts its turn in sunlight. Got it. Okay. So I'm going to give you... We'll say... Just like this. Here you go.
There we go.
All right.
And with my bonus action, I'm gonna say, Sir Golem, stop for a second. Get that one. And I'm gonna have him have Sir Golem. Sir Golem turns around very stiffly, and I feel like his like torso moves first before his legs spin around, and is going to multi-attack the vampire right in front of it. Yeah. That's a natural 20 on the first roll.
Beautiful.
You atoned, baby. got multiple chains just hanging here.
Or 15 points of bludgeoning damage. And the second attack,
Oh, well.
which is a 2.
Well,
Oh, that's for 9 to hit.
Really flirted on my screen with a 20. I don't know about anybody else.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, so as this vampire is like crawling across the ceiling, it's a little behind the others. It's coming to rush out. It's stumbled with the shatter, and then as it goes to lunge towards all of you, you see the golem from behind just smashes it up against the ceiling again. The fist just coming up like on a giant uppercut, crushing it against the wall. It comes in for a second strike with a left, and the creature just maneuvers around and just crawls on its arm before leaping back onto the ceiling.
Casimir will turn to Ash and make him a giant ape with polymorph.
Wait, what am I?
A giant ape.
Nice.
All right. Once you guys play that out, while I get this giant ape going here.
Casimir just turns, looks at the couple that are like grabbing onto him, and just says, "We'll have one too," and proceeds to just like pull the weave around and then like basically force feed it into his mouth.
With that, you'll see Ash, who is now, he's never in that dark skin formed anymore, right? He's in his full changeling form with the white hair and the white skin, and you just see that kind of go into like gorilla form, but also like it's got the long ass hair of like an orangutan too, but it's that same white color. So it's like a very weird combination. And you can see like a look of confusion as like what's going on, and then recognizes what's going on, and you just see like a and the transformation completes.
All right. Where's this massive giant ape just takes up the entire room? Durango, you just get like pushed backwards as this giant ape shape just emerges in the taking up the entirety of this bottom area.
And then Casimir's just gonna... Okay, now kill them. That's his turn.
Okay. the starter.
Oh,
This one's
and your
turns.
protection from evil and good drops. Sorry.
Yeah, it's alright.
So you can see the vampires now, especially the one on the wall here, just like hissing away from the light as it's burning their flesh, stinging, and it's smoking as it crawls. Let's see. It's gonna go to Casimir. Drop down. First attack with the claws. It's a natural 1. Second attack is a 2.
Man, that's sunlight really got him.
You know, I had the same number of CR3 gas last week and almost wiped you.
We deserve a win, okay?
I don't know that I agree with that.
You burned my horse.
I mean, it wasn't your horse. Durango.
It's my horse.
As the giant ape appears in the room and displaces everyone, Durango uses the confusion to play a little ditty to himself and cast protection from evil and good on himself. As a bonus action, he's going to shift that song into something about the might of the giant ape beside him, and how any who would stand before it are fools, and have an inspiration day. Handing those
Nice.
things out.
You see Ash in the giant ape form just kind of giving a little chest bump acknowledgement.
Muted.
That's all right. It's so hard to see with all this light in the room.
You don't even have my sun sword area.
Don't think it's needed.
It's gonna be-
I think you're being outshined right now.
Only by 30 feet.
And then there's Damon for another 30 feet.
Yeah.
All right, so this one's going to attack you. It's going to dart at you again, Durango. I guess if they get disadvantage on these, not that it matters. That's another natural 1.
Oof.
Second attack,
Oh my god.
17.
Yeah, I'll burn a luck point on that,
I
sure.
was gonna say, lucky it.
Ooh.
16.
Yeah, there's no getting around that.
Well, it's better than the nat 20 that was the other
All right,
guy
can
for
you
that
make
one.
I need you to make a strength or dexterity saving throw.
We will go with dexterity.
I feel like outside of Cole, we're all fairly dexterous. Well, never mind. Spoke too soon.
Shit. Luck point. Luck point. Cannot get grappled. Apparently, I'm getting grappled, boys. Yeah.
You are grappled.
Is
This
that
is
all
the
three?
second time.
Is that all 3 of your luckies?
That's my luck.
That's so great. to hear.
Tensveta.
Yeah.
That same vampire that is facing you down. It's going to take 20 points of damage from the sun.
Jesus.
Light. And then it is going to attack you with its claws. For a 2. Second attack. For 14. Yep, both of them it just darts out. It's every time it tries to lunge towards you, that light is just burning it. It's like fighting through getting to you and trying to hit you while it's also burning and like on fire. This one here is going to, I guess they're going to leave Ash alone for a second, and Casimir.
I kind of hope that concentration
Gonna move
stays.
up next to Cole, and then you get Casimir from there.
Wouldn't he take an attack of opportunity from the ape?
Yeah, that's a good
Unless-
point. So I guess
Unless
I won't
the
do
range
that.
is
Yeah.
well, unless the range is 10, in which point he won't be taking an attack of opportunity. What's
So the range is it's 5 feet.
Right,
No,
but
that's fine.
the giant ape's threatening space is 10 feet. So it wouldn't take the attack of opportunity.
I don't even see the imported. Oh no, fist right there. Nope, reaches 10 feet, man. So, not gonna do it. All right, so we'll stay there. Casimir. 19.
Shield to make it miss.
And another one. Or 21.
Just hits.
All right. I need him to make a strength or dexterity saving throw.
He'll do dexterity. And fail.
Yeah, great. Casimir's grappled. Wish I could do this on my
Fuck.
first one.
How much damage does he take from the claw?
What?
How much damage does he take from the claw?
None. He just gets grappled.
Oh, cool.
What, the bite that thing? Oh no, did he? It's the
It did
first
2
one.
claws.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
2 claws. No chance to bite. Not for him. This one is going to. I don't think I can grapple you.
But he can grapple him.
You know what? It's gonna go for it. It's gonna dart up. So you get an attack of opportunity, Cole. Ash, in your 8 form.
Attack
If
of
you want to make a,
opportunity.
yeah.
Yep.
If you want to make a fist attack,
For an 11.
no, misses. Nice. This one is going to bite at Casimir.
Okay. Nope.
It's a miss. Does that hit with shield or no?
19
19?
does not hit. No, his
Doesn't hit,
AC
yep,
is
no.
20.
Okay.
Let's shield up.
And that one is just bursts into flames. Turns to Ash.
What a bitch.
All right. Ash.
You see Ash sees Casimir get grappled by this thing and is gonna reach out and try to grab this thing and ungrapple Casimir. Is that a thing that I can do?
I'd have
don't
to check the
think
rules.
so. Yeah, I don't think so.
Can another creature...
Gonna throw. I mean, and if that's not what's gonna happen, I'm gonna just go ahead and pummel party this one that's got Casimir grappled. Or Durango, you're grappled too, right?
I am. Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could theoretically shove as one of the actions and break the grapple because it would be forced movement.
Yeah, if you shove the other creature. Well, either one, I guess, right?
Either one, yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna pummel party it then. I don't really want to shove it into Cole, so that's gonna be the multi-attack.
All I'm picturing is that move from Melee. Donkey Kong slamming the ground.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
For 34.
17 hits. Which one is that?
Whatever one's got Casimir grappled, but that
Oh.
one, that one's gonna get whacked for 34 points of bludgeoning.
34 points of ape damage.
Yeah, so although like it's got Casimir grappled, you just kind of like put one hand over Casimir's head and the other one you just slam your fist down and it just splatters the vampire against the floor. Just goo and viscera left over as you lift your hand up. And it starts to turn to ash in the sunlight.
I can't be.
so good.
I can't believe that I just rolled 2 10s and an 8.
He's got another attack.
Yeah, and so you see he pummel parties this one and then goes ahead and backhands The one that's holding Durango for a 28.
That one hits.
For
Not
a
quite
19
as
with
good that time.
That's
No.
that's more reasonable. Jesus.
That was
34 points of damage.
Jesus.
I'm gonna map.
Somebody clip that for me. I just want that for my own personal records.
Who's that up?
Tinsville, is this one dead in front of me?
No.
All right, bonus action, steady aim and stab again at advantage. 26 to hit. We get 2 damage die because it's undead. Plus sneak attack. So that's 15. Plus another 12 is... 15 and 12 is what? 27? And then a d8 from the booming blade. For another 6. And that's his turn. He just keeps laughing. Just...
Yeah, as it just keeps trying to lunge forward towards you in the midst of you slashing at it as it's cutting at it with the sunblade. Eventually, it's just pieces of it just start bursting and falling off and just turning into ash before all of a sudden it's just an armless corpse throwing itself at you and falling to the ground before bursting into fire and fading away into nothingness.
He spits on its burning corpse.
Cool. Cold.
Cole is in full soldier mode right now, and his stance is tighter than it's been in a long time, and the grin that you used to see on his face is a little less sickly, but he's very much enjoying this feeling again of being in control of, I guess what he feels like is his life again, and he walks up to the vampire that's holding on to the Casimir here. And, oh, this was bad luck for you. And jab the spear into it. 16?
16 hits.
I feel like both sides have rolled some pretty massive damage tonight. It's been impressive nights for damage roll.
Yeah.
Damage rolls.
10 points of damage on that one. Divine Smite, first level.
Gotta do
All right.
little smite.
I think you can use inspiration dice for damage rolls too. Just throwing it out there.
Okay, I'll throw it on this
Oh,
one.
yeah.
You unless it says it in the ability, you cannot. It's only on on ability.
I put it in there. Spell
Okay,
damage.
but-
Spell damage.
Okay,
Oh,
so then I'll do the
But
D6 onto
Divine
this one.
Smite's a spell. It's a smell.
Yeah.
It's a smell.
smell. It is a smell. Smells like
don't you also
ozone.
get Don't you also get another D8 for it being undead?
Chuck sees himself
Yes.
out.
I get another D8.
It's undead, yeah.
Sick. Okay. So D6 there for 4 more damage, and then D8 there. That's for another 2 damage, so 6 extra damage. So yeah, 8, and then 14 damage on that Divine Smite, I guess.
Yeah, this one very similarly is. I don't know why that just did that. It like just it's almost completely charred to the skeleton now, almost like a burning skeletal version of what it was. Still standing, but it's does not look great.
It would be better if you just laid down, and I pull back and almost target the same area and try and push a spear through this thing's torso. Natural one.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of it is just burned away, right? So you actually do hit it with the spear, but it's just a charred chunk of.
I still have Cull the Herd from Aurora of Treachery, which means any creature that has one or more of its allies within 5 feet, I have advantage on.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
That's 25 to hit.
25 hits.
All right. And that's another 12 points of damage.
Yeah. So the second one, you feel like you catch it, and there's it kind of like the spear passes through, like it's a chunk of flesh that's just all charred now. It just turns to ash underneath the spear. But then as the creature is still like reaching out with you with these skeletal hands, you twist the spear, and in the last minute you yank and turn, and it just catches it right in the midsection. You sever whatever else was there, and the whole thing just sort of topples in on itself before falling into ash on the ground.
And then for my bonus action, Sir Golem, if you wouldn't mind. I can't move him, but I want him right there behind these two here. And he's gonna pull back his fists and sort of imitate the gorilla and just start double fist ground smashing.
Double fist ground smash.
I would like to say it was a little more nuanced than that. I kind of held Casimir away from the blood and gore.
He's a
It's a little more-
golem. He's got no nuance. He just smashes. First attack's a
Just
12 to
fists.
hit. And
12
this
misses. Second one,
second one, that's a little better. 19 to hit.
19 hits.
For 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
Now, which one are you hitting? This one?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, this one that's sort of like now caught between the shield guardian, the ape, Casimir, all of it. You can see, she's lunging she keeps lunging for Casimir, but the two bigger forces just keep getting in the way, and that fist catches. The first one slams into the ground as she darts up over it, and then the second one grabs her out of midair and slams her back down. The whole body just before she flips back up, and blood just pouring from the mouth, turning to ash as it hits that sunlight. Durango.
Casimir didn't get a turn.
I'm sorry, Casimir.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We will 4th level magic missile.
I feel like
3D
Ryan was going forever.
3 to each. So that'll be 3d4 plus 3 to the first one. 12 points there. And then the other one will take 3d4 plus 3. 9 points to the south one. As he just kind of like pulls at the lapels of his jacket and just looks up the ape, gives a thankful nod, and just darts begin to before they make fun of my sound effects. Ryan.
Durango.
Yeah! I'm so pitted.
So this vampire's got Durango in a bear hug. He's got the mandolin held sideways between them, like bracing them, like so there's a little bit of space and the strings are clear. And he's playing a frantic melody up and down the neck of this thing. As the headstock begins to glow, he shoves it right up under the chin of the vampire and lets loose the blast of the psychic lance.
Okay.
You're gonna play a song so hard it's literally gonna blow its mind.
It's been a long time
Finally.
coming, bud.
I was gonna say it's been coming.
It's an 11. Fails.
Yes.
That's a lot of ones.
So many ones.
Buddy.
But just enough ones. Yeah, as the creature's mouth is like wide open, trying to bite down at you as you stick the headstock up in there, and just that psychic lance just goes through, and the rest of the entire head just explode before the body just turns to ash underneath and slumps to the ground. You finally exploded someone's head.
Tens gets into like a bro stance, like the wide bro stance, and just
Just like
Durango.
starts headbanging.
Durango strikes a heroic pose and dusts off a little bit of vampire ash from his shoulder. chin held high.
God, it's so good.
Be real, y'all. If we would have run into this, we would.
Yeah, last
not have
night we
made
would
it.
have lost.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's all I got.
He's calculating.
He's
He's
kind of
muted.
caught in between a shit sandwich.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go for Casimir again. But it's-
Excuse me, sir. That's not a disadvantage.
I know, and it's gonna miss anyways. The second one is a 14.
Yes. He has a 15 AC with mage armor up.
Right.
Jeez. Oh, jeez.
All right, giant ape.
Smash it.
He's just gonna lean down. So Ash in his big ape form is just gonna like lean down, towering over this vampire, and is just gonna sniff, like huff at it, and then is just gonna straight up attempt to pummel it straight into the ground. With his multi-attack. For an 11.
11 misses.
Come on, ape. Much better, ape.
For 26.
26 hits.
For 22 points of bludgeoning.
Yeah, so you watch the vampire. The vampire's just like screaming back at you as the two of you are roaring. The first fist slams down. It darts to the side, and as it does that, the light from Cole just starts blinding again. It's just like bursts through. It's the side of its face just a light on fire, and as it turns back towards you, your fist comes down and catches it, slamming it into the ground into another paste of vampire.
Ash reaches over and kind of wipes it on Durango. You hear a big ape chuckle.
It was already just head to toe in vampire bits.
As the battle concludes, the room starts to go dark again as the sunlight seems to sort of be consumed by the amulet of Ravenkind, and as the final bits of it hits the amulet, sort of like a wave of like a band of light passes through over Cole's body and lingers in his amber irises for a bit before they stop emanating.
Tins is like stomping around, total fucking like meathead style, wide-legged, just fuck you, Strahd! Fuck you!
So Tens is strutting around, screaming obscenities, and a little bit of light still remains, and what can almost be described as a halo shines above Cole Mavvin once again. That is where we'll pick up next week. So thank you everybody for joining us tonight.
Good night.
Wow.
Good night.
I lost
Much
the
better than
horse.
last week. I did think there was a chance that I killed all of you with the death slot again. That was a very, very real possibility. He did have fireball as an innate spell as well.
Jesus
So that was gonna be-
Christ.
Oh,
If
man.
Casimir didn't move, I could have argued obscured vision for counterspell.
Mhm.
And fireball was going to be the next thing to come. But anyways, you guys did a great job. Thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you to our sponsors, Foundry, Forge, Tabletop Audio, Dice Envy. Make sure you get your elf eggs in. And let's go ahead and have all the evil characters roll a d20 to figure out who we're going to raid tonight.
Who are you calling evil?
Do I count as evil now? I don't think I do.
Looks like a 1.
All right.
Is it the top of the list?
You have Casimir roll.
Do it. didn't trust that guy for a reason, you
I
know.
was wondering if anybody was gonna catch it.
Casting is neutral.
So we're going to Gnome Ann playing Out of the Abyss.
All right. Well, let's go make a lot of noise, be loud, be proud. We have ASD again tomorrow night.
Yep.
Nice. So ASD tomorrow, Plastic Cougar on Thursday. We will see you all again here next Sunday.